A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The most lovable, genuine family on the air, the Goldbergs, brought to you daily except Saturdays and Sundays, this time, this station. But first, I'd like to talk just a minute to those of you who still scrub and boil your soap. I'd like to ask, why do you still scrub and boil? Is it because you're afraid soaps that soak dirt loose, that wash without scrubbing and boiling, in other words, are hard on colors and on hands? If that's the reason, and there's no denying it's been a mighty good reason in the past, here's news. Oxidol, the no-scrub, no-boil laundry soap made by Procter & Gamble, is safe for every washable color and fabric. It's a soaking soap and an efficient one. Yes, so efficient, in fact, that after 15 minutes soaking, even the dirtiest spots come clean with a few quick rubs. But the big point is, with this extraordinary soaking efficiency, Oxidol combines safety. If that's hard to believe, if perhaps you've had unfortunate experiences with old-style soaking soap, let me explain what Oxidol is, and you'll understand. To begin with, it's an improved soaking soap, surprisingly new and different. A new formula is used in making it, a formula that takes mild, gentle soap and makes it so efficient you needn't scrub or boil at all, yet keeps it safe. That's been proved by dozens of tests. For instance, delicate cotton prints of every shade were washed in Oxidol 100 consecutive times. Far more tubbings than the average print gets. Yet, there was no perceptible sign of fading. And that, you'll admit, is about as convincing a test of safety as you could possibly ask for. I might add also that Good Housekeeping Institute put Oxidol to further tests for safety and gave it their official seal of approval. So why continue to scrub and boil now that there's a soap that safely soaks dirt loose? Remember, too, that Oxidol safety for colors means safety for your hands. You'll never get that rough, red wash tub look from using Oxidol. Plan to use it Monday. Don't scrub, don't boil, and when you're through, get a real thrill from your washing. Every piece of sparkling snowy white, or as bright and clear in color as before it was washed. Now, ready for the Goldbergs. When the Goldbergs learned Joyce, their bewildering and uninvited young visitor from nowhere, had been writing letters to a senator in Washington, they agreed the girl must be the senator's daughter, that the mystery of her past was finally solved. So yesterday, when young Sammy Goldberg was caught in a lie as a result of his interest in Joyce, Jake at once instructed Molly to write the senator, telling him to call for his daughter. But did she write? Here are Molly and Jake now. Sammy and Joyce and Rosalie, an unwelcome third, we're afraid, are out on a hayride.
Why don't you go to bed, Jake, dear? You're snoozing off.
I'm not snoozing. I'll wait till they come back. How long do hayride last?
Children didn't start out too late.
Don't make no excuses. I said no hayride.
All right. So if I said yes, so what?
Because, Molly, this must be nibbles in the bud. If you don't see what I see, then you should begin to use your eyes. All right. I'm glad you wrote to her father last night. And no doubt this will all soon come to a close. And the sooner the better. Did you put a special delivery stamp on the letter?
Special delivery? Yeah. No.
Why?
Because, I will, Jake.
You will? What do you mean you will?
I mean, I will when I mail it.
You mean that you didn't mail it yet?
No,
You what? You're starting again, Molly, huh?
I'm not starting, Jake, darling. I'm not starting.
Where's the letter?
I have it.
Let me see it.
Why not? Why shouldn't I let you see? Why not? I put it here. Why shouldn't I let you see it? Why not?
If you weren't going to mail it, why did you write it?
Who said I wasn't going to mail the letter? theater, too.
Get my specs.
I'll do it.
But every syllable I want to hear.
Why not?
If you don't know your own son, I do. There's too much mystery, too much romance, too much beauty surrounding this girl. I know your son because I know myself.
All right, all right. So you want to listen?
To every word.
Well, the salutation I started, let me see the lamp. To your honor, Senator.
That's correct.
And, Jake, then I put, dear Mr. Brandon.
Correct. You see, Molly? You see? Environment isn't everything. You see? A girl brought up with no doubt a golden spoon in her mouth. The daughter of a senator. And still?
Still what, Jake?
To leave her home. To knock around, to,
You want to listen, baby?
What then am I waiting for?
Your dear honor.
That I heard already.
Yes. Dear Mr. Brandon, about 2 weeks ago, your daughter Joyce was found in my barn in the hayloft. I made a period. I would have let you know sooner, but up till yesterday, we did not know who or what or from where she was. The reason being that your daughter spoke very little.
Correct.
Very little, yeah. What have I got here? What have I got?
Can't read your own writing?
I cannot read 1 minute. Oh. Only accidentally did we learn that you are her father. And we are hastening to tell you where your daughter is. And we would appreciate it if you would forget and forgive her, no matter what it was that caused the unfriendliness. After all, in life...
Without philosophizing, Molly. Leave out the Shakespeare.
Should I scratch it out?
Don't scratch. Leave it. How will it look? Go on.
All right. After all, Mr. Brandon, your child is a wonderful child. In the little time she has been here with us, we have learned to love her.
You, not me. Maybe your son, who is out hayriding with her.
Who should I say then?
Go on.
In the short time that we have known her, that she has been here, we have learned to love her. We have learned to love her very much.
Rosie, go over there, will you? Why don't you sit here? Go over and ask Mike's cousin to sing something, and you drive the team while he sings.
Well, if you want to get rid of me, why don't you say so? Do you want my coat, Joyce? No, thank you.
Well, Rosie?
All right, I'm going. Wait a minute. Oh, God.
Comfortable, Joyce? You want my coat?
No. Steady. The moon makes the fields look like they were covered with milk.
Yeah. Spilled all over.
Steady. Where are we going?
I don't know. Somewhere, I guess. What's the difference?
Yes, darling. What's the difference? As long as I'm with you, Sandy. Sandy, darling, I love being with you. I'm so happy when I'm with you. Maybe it's because I'm not afraid when I'm with you.
Maybe it's because I'm happy when I'm with you.
Are you, Sandy?
Yes. Comfortable? What are you thinking of, Joyce?
Oh, nothing.
Well, then, why are you so still?
Sandy, darling. Because the night's so still. It's so clear and so lovely. Please talk to me, Sandy.
Please, Joyce. I can't talk. You talk to me.
I can't either.
Joyce, darling. Una will let us hear from you.
I have that, sir.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
So give it to me.
I'll mail it in the morning, Jeff.
I'll mail it. And then I'll be sure it's mailed.
So Jake's going to mail the letter personally. Well, that won't mean the end of this affair by any means, for what Jake doesn't know is that his letter will result in more excitement, more complications than he bargained for. Be sure to tune in Monday to hear what they are. And in the meantime, why not make up your mind to try Oxidol way of washing, of merely soaking the clothes instead of scrubbing and boiling them. If you hesitate because you don't believe the result will be what you want, if you think the clothes won't come white enough, remember one trial will tell the story. So make the test Monday. Soak your clothes in Oxidol's rich, active suds just 15 minutes. Then examine every piece as carefully as you wish. And if you're not satisfied with the results, if you don't find your wash as beautifully white as you've always wanted it, take back the unused Oxidol to your dealer. He'll give you your money back in full. There'll be no argument. Your decision in the matter will be final. We make this offer because we know Oxidol is its own best advertising. That if we can get you to try it just once, the results will speak for themselves. So pick up a box of Oxidol today. The name is spelled Oxydol. It's the box with the orange and blue circles. Be sure to use it Monday. And don't fail to hear the Goldbergs Monday. The effect of the letter Jake sends to the senator is something you can't afford to miss. Until Monday, this same time, same station, this is Ray Saunders wishing you a pleasant weekend for the makers of Oxidol.
countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the Ray Bradbury story entitled, And the Moon Be Still as Bright.
The first 3 expeditions from Mars left Earth in a mushroom of flame, arced through the atmosphere, and finally dwindled to tiny specks in the big eye of the Mount Palomar telescope, and then were lost to sight forever. The prearranged landing signals flashed back to Earth, and then the radios went dead. One after the other, ships had disappeared and were never heard from again. But still, the rockets came. The 4th expedition emerged from the silent gulfs of space, angled down toward the floating red disk of Mars, down into an orbit as the order came to land. The last blast of the bow jets broke red against the blue desert sands, and the ship slid to a halt at the edge of a vast city that reflected the icy glare of the moonlight. For a while, all was still.
All right, park you. Open the airlock.
Aye, sir.
Fresh air.
Hey, it's cold out here.
Who cares? We got here. I thought I'd never hit solid ground again.
Hey, how about a fire, Captain Wiley? It's freezing.
Later. We have work to do.
Oh, smell that air. Why, you could get drunk on it. Say, there's an idea. Why don't we break out a bottle and celebrate?
Biggs, there will be no drinking done until we're secured.
But we're landed, Captain.
3 other expeditions landed and disappeared within 24 hours. Now, we're not relaxing security till we find out what happened to them.
What do you mean, maybe Martians?
Sender, you're an archaeologist. How old would you say they are?
I can't tell till I study them more closely. It's a kind of engineering we couldn't duplicate on Earth.
Well, I'm not interested in the architecture now. I want to make sure there's nothing there that might be dangerous. Mr. Hathaway.
Yes, sir?
I want you and Spender to take a reconnaissance party into the city and find out what's there. We'll set up camp here. No man is to go more than 50 feet from this rocket. And there'll be no celebration till Hathaway and his party report back.
In the sea bottoms, the wind stirred along faint vapors, and from the mountains, great stone visages looked upon the silvery rocket and the small fire. The sky was black overhead, as the 2 racing moons threw knife-edged double shadows on the desert.
All right, come and get it. Ciao.
Hey, what do you got there, Jackie?
Soda smothered in cold chicken fat.
Good. I thought it was something I couldn't eat. Hey, Captain. Mr. Hathaway's back.
Oh, Captain Wilder.
Oh, yes, over here, Mr. Hathaway. Well?
Most of the city's dead. Spender says it's been dead a good many thousand years, but we found one part about a mile over
What about it?
People were living in it last week, sir.
People?
Martians.
Where are they now?
Dead. We found bodies, thousands of bodies. They hadn't been dead more than 10 days.
How did they die?
You won't believe it.
What killed them?
Chickenpox.
Chickenpox?
Yes.
Where could they get chickenpox?
From Earth.
Oh, then the other rockets did get through.
Yes. I don't know what the Martians did to them, but I sure know what they did to the Martians. They gave them chickenpox and wiped them out. They just didn't have any resistance to an Earth disease.
Think of it, Captain. A race builds itself for 1,000,000 years, refines itself, does everything it can to give itself respect and beauty, and then it dies. Of what?
It's like saying the Greeks died of mumps or the proud Roman Empire collapsed because of athlete's foot. We didn't even give them a decent excuse for dying. We just gave them chicken pox.
Spender, get hold of yourself.
You didn't see those bodies, Captain.
Yes, I know. It must have been a shock. You need a rest, a little relaxation. The Martians are dead. There's nothing you can do about that now.
Hey, you hear that? The Martians are all dead. Come on, let's break out a bottle and whoop it out. How about a case, eh?
Oh, good Lord. They have to do that now? Isn't there time later to throw old beer cans into the canals?
Spender, you're an idealist. They're not. All they know now is that they're safe. A little shouting won't hurt. You think too much.
I was safe on Mars. The first Earthmen on Mars. We gotta celebrate.
Yahoo! 20 bottles were opened and drunk. The voices got louder. The earth laughs and shouts echoing across the empty Martian sands. Spender listened to the wind over his ears, cool and whispering. He felt the land getting cooler. The stars drew closer, very near. The air smelled clean and new. He looked at the cool ice of the white Martian buildings over there on the empty sea lands.
Oh, what a woman! Hey, what do we do with these empty bottles?
Save them, stupid. There's a 2-cent deposit.
Wait. Hey, wait. How about that building? 2 to 1 on a buck. I can heave one right through that window.
You're on.
All right, here goes. Hey, double it up for the next shot.
Put that bottle down, Biggs.
Who's there, Mr. Spender?
Stop smashing those windows.
What's the difference? The planet's ours now. I guess I can do anything with it I want.
Drop that bottle or I'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah? Just watch me.
I warned you, Big.
Come on. What's going on here? Spender!
I hit him.
He's crazy, Captain. He just walked up and slugged me.
All right, Biggs. Spender, you come with me. Now, suppose you explain. What was the idea?
The noise, the drunken brawl.
Spender, the men are tired. This has been a long trip. And you have a different way of seeing things.
Oh, I'm seeing things, all right. I'm seeing how we'll ruin Mars. We'll rip it up and rip the skin off the way we've already ruined Earth.
Is that why you hit Biggs?
Yes. I couldn't stand the idea of them watching us make fools of ourselves.
Them?
The Martians. They're dead. They're all dead. But they know we're here. Doesn't an old thing always know when a new thing comes? We've come a long way to smash their windows and spit in their wine.
Well, maybe you're right. But I'm still going to fine you $50 for that fight. Now, come on, Spender. Suck in your chin. We'll go back there and play happy.
Now they moved out into the moonlight across the desert. They made their way into the dreaming, dead city. The light of the racing twin moons glinted on the barrel of a pistol, the long blade of a machete, the round, gurgling shape of a raised bottle. The wind blew in from the dead sea bottom and brushed through the silvery wire filigree of the towers. Strange music drifted down to the double-shadowed streets, a thin, haunted music that played as it had played through the uncounted years of time. Nobody moved. The moons held and froze them. The wind beat slowly around them.
Hey! Hey, you people in the city!
Biggs!
I just want to make a little noise. What kind of a celebration is this, anyway?
Come on.
They built this city thousands of years ago. And now where are they? How did they die?
Who cares? They're dead. That's good enough for me.
Lord Byron.
What?
Lord Byron, a 19th century poet. He wrote a poem that fits this city. Might have been written by the last Martian poet. So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. though the heart be still as loving, though the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul outwears its breast. And the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself must rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
Without a word, the Earthmen stood in the center of the city. It was a clear night. There was not a sound except the music of the wind. At their feet lay a tiled court, worked into the shapes of ancient animals and images. They stood there, silvered by the double moons beneath the crystal towers of Mars. And then Biggs was sick, and the sour stench of liquor filled the cool air. The men of Earth had come to Mars. And Spender turned and walked away into the city, alone in the moonlight, never once stopping to look back. It was a morning that might have been a Monday, or a Tuesday, or any day on Mars. Biggs was on the canal rim, his feet hung down in the cool water, soaking, while he took the sun in his face.
Hey, what are you doing back here, Biggs? Didn't you go out with the search party?
Yeah. I come back. I got a blister.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? Look, Cherokee, see that? Anyway, I had enough searching. 4 days hunting for that screwball Spender.
Didn't find him yet, huh?
Oh, good riddance. Oh, my feet. I'm going to soak them in the canal. If I was Wilder, I wouldn't worry about that nut Spender. Let him go. He's a crackpot anyway.
Well, he's a little foggy upstairs, I guess. Hey, why don't you take your feet out of that canal, Biggs? I got to make coffee out of that water.
Coffee? You call that stuff coffee? I had a motorcycle once that dripped grease that tasted better than...
Wait a minute, Biggs. Hey, look over there.
Where?
By that bush. There's someone there.
Hey.
It's him. Hey, Spender!
Spender?
He's coming over.
Why'd he stay lost, that crazy jerk?
Hi, Spender. Long time no see.
Hello, Cherokee. I've been exploring some ruins.
Oh, you and them ruins. You're like a dog in a boneyard. What's the matter? Why don't you just say something? Where you been?
Up in the hills. What would you say if I told you I found a Martian?
Oh, yeah?
Where?
Never mind. Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you were a Martian and people came to your land and started to tear it up?
Well, I know how I'd feel. I've got Cherokee blood in me. My grandfather told me a lot of things about the way they kick the Indians around in the Oklahoma Territory. If there's any Martian around, I'm all for him.
How about you, Biggs?
They're dead. They're all dead. It's a good thing, too.
Well, I found a Martian. Up in a dead town in the hills. I've been reading their books, and they're easy to understand. And I've learned their language. And then I found this Martian. And I brought him here, now.
I don't see no Martian.
I'm the last Martian.
What did you say?
Biggs, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, cut it out. What kind of a lousy joke is that? And now, don't put that gun away. You're kidding, huh? Spender, you're...
He's dead. You killed him.
You can come with me, Cherokee. You're an Indian. You know how the Martians would feel. You can be with me in this.
You killed him. You just killed him.
He deserved it.
You're crazy.
Maybe I am. But you can come with me.
Come with you for what? Go on, get out of here, you crazy murderer.
Of all of them, I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd remember what happened to your own people.
You get out of here, you crazy murdering... Don't reach for the gun. Spender.
Hathaway, break out the arms locker. Issue pistols, rifles, and grenades.
Yes, sir.
And you'd better get the Bible out of the navigation chest. We have to bury these two. Parkler, you start digging a grave.
How about Spender?
We'll have to go up in the hills and find him.
Just let me at him with my bare hands, a crazy murdering louse.
That's enough, Parkler. The man is sick. He must be...
Sick my eye.
That's enough. Now grab a shovel and start digging.
Spender saw the thin dust rising in the valley, and he knew the pursuit was beginning. The sun burned farther up the sky, and the blue sand drifted lazily across the sea bottom below. He sat beside a quiet pool 10,000 years old and held the silver book. Through the house played the strange wind music of ancient Mars, and he heard voices whisper in his mind.
I hear you. I've always heard you, even down there on Earth. No, I won't run. What's the use?
Live, Earthman. Live.
Live? What for? To see them tear down your temples and put up hot dog stands?
Run.
They've seen me now. They know I'm up here. There's Wilder now. I've got him right in my sights.
Kill, Earthman. Kill.
Funny, he hasn't ordered them to use grenades. They could lob one right up here and blow me to bits. Maybe the captain thinks I'm too nice to be blown to bits. He wants my death to be clean. Just one bullet hole in me, nothing messy. And why? Because he understands me.
Kill.
The only one in the crew who ever did. Well, at least I can do the same for him. Just one bullet in his head, a nice clean death. All I have to do is pull the trigger and then... It's no use. I can't do it to him.
Spender! Can you hear me, Spender?
I hear you, Captain. What do you want?
Talk! Truce!
All right. Come on up. Leave your gun down there and keep your hands up.
Oh. That's quite a climb. You mind if I sit down? How long do you think you can hold out?
Until you're all dead.
Oh, why didn't you kill all of us this morning when you had the chance? You could have.
I know. I got sick. After I started killing people, I realized they were just fools and I shouldn't be killing them, but it was too late. So I came up here where I could get angry again.
Why did you do it?
When I was a kid, my folks took me to visit Mexico City. Now, always remember the way my father acted, loud and big. And my mother didn't like the people because she thought they didn't wash enough. I can see my mother and my father coming to Mars and acting the same way. Anything that's strange is no good to us. We aren't fit to take over this planet.
But to kill 2 men.
How would you feel if a Martian spit on the White House floor?
You know, you haven't acted very civilized yourself.
I'll kill you all off, Wilder. That'll delay the next rocket 5 years, and then I'll kill them, too. And if I'm lucky, I'll live to be 60. And I'll meet every expedition that lands on Mars. Oh, I'll be very friendly. I'll explain our rocket blew up one day. And then I'll kill them off. I'll save Mars for half a century. And by then, maybe the Earth people will give up.
And yet you're outnumbered. We already have you surrounded. In an hour, you will be dead.
I found an underground passage that'll take me back in the hills, Wilder. I'll go back there. And then I'll pick you off one by one.
We'll see. Well, it's a nice town you've got here, Spender. It's beautiful. I'd like to live here.
You can. Join me. You're not like them. Why go back to them, Captain? I'll show you what a good life these people had.
No, there's too much Earth blood in me. I may even agree with you about all this, but that does not change what I must do.
You won't stay?
No. This is your last chance, Spender. Look, you're sick. Now come along with me quietly.
No. One last thing. If you win, do me a favor. Try to see that they don't tear this planet apart.
Right.
And if it helps, just think of me as a very crazy fellow who went berserk one summer day. Be easier on you that way.
Now I'll think that over. So long, Spender.
Bye, Captain. Good luck.
The men spread out again. walking and then running on the hot hillside places where there would be sudden cool grottos that smelled of moss, and sudden open blasting places that smelled of sun or stone. The men ran and ducked and ran and squatted in the shadows.
I'll blow his brains!
Captain Wilder hugged the rock warmed by the sun. He gasped, for the air was thin and not meant for running. Spender lay at the top of the hill, and a gap in the rocks showed the white of his shirt against the shadows. Wilder looked at the towers of the little clean Martian village, like sharply carved chess pieces lying in the afternoon. He saw the rocks, and the interval between, where Spender's chest was revealed.
Go on, Spender. Get out. You only got a few seconds to escape. Go on, get out of the caves. Come back later. You go now. I've got to win this. I've got to think that I'm right and pull this trigger. Go now. Get out.
I'll get him! A slug in the head, I'll blow his bloody brains!
No, Parkhill! Put down that gun. I'll do this myself.
Spender. Why didn't you get out? Why? Why? Why?
They buried him in that ancient valley town, where the music of the wind played on through the days and the nights. They laid him in an ancient silver sarcophagus with waxes and wines which were 10,000 years old, his hands folded on his chest. The last they saw of him was his peaceful face in the cold silver light of the racing twin moons. The captain found the poem in Spender's pocket, and he read it before he shut the marble door.
So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
The next afternoon, Parkhill did some target practice in one of the dead cities, shooting out the crystal windows and blowing the tops off the fragile towers. Captain Wilder caught Parkhill and nearly knocked his teeth out.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you the Ray Bradbury story, And the Moon Be Still as Bright, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Larkin, Clark Gordon, Dick Hamilton, Nelson Olmsted, Lawrence Kerr, and Stan Early. Your narrator was Norman Rose. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production. X-1. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, First Contact, by Murray Leinster. They had been in space 6 months now, moving with the incredibly faster-than-light speed of the overdrive. In 6 months, they had gone from Earth outward and outward to the crab-like nebula with the twin stars, a routine flight of exploration and scientific research.
Solid object about 90,000 miles away, sir.
Located, Dort. Exactly identified.
A small object, sir. Captain, I've never seen anything like this before. Whatever it is out there is coming toward us at an incredible speed and retreating to zero just as rapidly.
What's the mass of the object, Dort?
Well, it varies with the distance from us, sir.
Step up the scanners.
Well, nothing, sir. Absolutely nothing shows out there. And yet there must be something. Those alarms are foolproof.
Action stations, man all weapons. Condition of extreme alert in all departments immediately.
Captain, what is it?
Dort, I ran into the same thing once before on the Earth-Mars run. We were being located by another ship, and their locator beam was the same frequency as ours. Every time it hit, it registered as something solid and monstrous.
But, Captain, we're the only Earth ship in 18 light years around. How?
I didn't say it was another Earth ship out there, Dort.
Another race?
That's right. There's a spaceship out there, all right. But it's not manned by human beings.
It had been contemplated and speculated upon. Mathematically, it was almost a certainty that such a race existed. But in 18,000 Earth years, no human spaceship had ever encountered them. Now the situation was precipitated, and somewhere outside the Earth vessel there was an alien race. Of what shape? Of what quality? Of what psychology?
It's moving, sir. Heading right for us.
At that speed, we'll be in touch in 10 minutes. Heading right for us, huh? Just what we'd do if a strange ship appeared in our hunting grounds. Friendly? Well, maybe. We'll try to contact them. We have to do that. But friendly? Thank the Lord for the blasters.
They may not be hostile, sir.
Well, they may be. That's what I'm paid for. Put on this job for, to worry about the troubles that may never happen. To all hands, now hear this. A ship is approaching manned by an alien race. I'll give the signal for attack or defense if it be necessary. There'll be no move made unless I give the order. I do not wish to provoke trouble. Stand by.
Their ship is slowing down, sir. It's stopped.
Weapons Department, report. Weapons Department, report.
Alien ship remarked. Target fixed. Weapons alert.
Communications Department, report. Communications Department, report.
We're receiving a modulated short wave, sir. Frequency modulated. Apparently a signal. Not enough power to do us any harm.
Well, try to make some sense out of it. Report any progress to me immediately.
One thing in their favor, sir. They didn't attack immediately without question. They're trying to establish contact. That seems to indicate they're reasonable.
We'll see. What are they doing now? Can you make out the locator screen? Bring that power up.
Yeah, they're doing something now, sir. There's a section of the hull opening. Probably an airlock, sir.
If they breathe there.
Yeah, they're letting something out. It's round. A bomb, sir?
Unknown object released from alien ship. Observed by Weapons Department and targeted.
Stand by.
See what they're doing, sir? They've left the object out there right where they were. And now they're withdrawing the ship.
There's no reason why that object couldn't be a bomb, Mr. Dort. Intended to let us think precisely as you're thinking right now.
I just have a hunch, sir. I think they're friendly. I think whatever it is out there is a means of communication.
You're probably right, but I won't gamble the ship on a probability.
Sir, I'd like to volunteer to go out there and look that thing over.
You understand whoever does examine it is expendable.
Yes, sir.
Requisition a lifeboat.
If it's all right with you, sir, I'd prefer just a suit with the drive in it. It's smaller and the arms and legs won't make me look like a bomb. And I'll carry a scanner, sir.
You may leave when you're ready.
Thank you, sir.
I'm all ready. Clear the lock and let me out. Weapons Department reporting to the captain. Mr. Dort located. Mr. Dort is targeted.
Stand by. If that object out there is a device to capture one of our people for observation and questioning, it'll be blown out of existence, including Mr. Dort. Stand by. Mr. Dort. Mr. Dort. Report.
Object, as you can see on the scanner, sir, is covered with many small horns, like the detonating horns of the obsolete mines formerly used in naval warfare.
Is that their purpose, do you assume, Mr. Dort?
I'm going to find out, sir. I'm going to grab one.
Mr. Dort.
I'm here, sir. I don't think this is a mine.
Circle it so we can see it completely through your scanner.
Deadlock, sir. Nothing to report that the scanner hasn't shown you. Oh, wait a minute, sir. A section of the outer hull seems to be opening. Do you see it?
Very good, Dort. Hold that.
I'm sure it's a communications device, sir.
It looks like it. Fix your scanner so it'll focus on that communications device. Return to the ship. Communications Department. Progress report, please.
We've established communication, sir.
Is there a psychologist on the team down there with you?
Yes, sir. Mr. Burns is working with us.
Will both of you please report to the bridge at once? Oh, you look tired, Dort.
We've established fairly satisfactory communication, sir. They seem to have highly developed thought patterns. We got a satisfactory translation from the machine on the fourth attempt. We can say almost anything we want to say to each other now. Of course, how much of what they tell us is the truth, we have no way of knowing.
Mr. Burns, you're the psychologist. What do you think?
Well, I don't know, sir. They seem to be completely direct. They haven't let slip even a hint of the tenseness we know exists. They act as if they were setting up a means of communication for friendly conversation, but, well, there's an overtone that...
Yeah? Well, Mr. Burns, I have a decision to make. On the one hand, opening contact with the friendly people of a vastly different culture could only be beneficial to us of Earth. On the other hand, if they're hostile, I ought to blast them out of existence without any other preliminaries.
Oh, but, sir, you can't...
I'm not talking to you, Dort.
It's not warranted yet, sir.
Yes. Now, hear this, all departments. Hear this, all departments. This ship is on an extended alert. Provisions will be made so that personnel can have maximum rest and nourishment.
Communication continued by means of the artificial language set up arbitrarily between the Earthmen and the aliens, decoded by the mechanical decoders. Dort disobeyed orders. He lived on powerful stimulants so that he could stay with the communications machine. Talking to the aliens.
Other people. Are we being received?
We are receiving your message.
The chief of this ship wishes to speak with the chief of your ship.
The message is heard by the chief of this ship. The chief of this ship communicates that he will hear the message of the chief of that ship.
Go ahead, sir.
People of the other ship, I'd like to say the appropriate things about this first contact of two dissimilar civilized races, and of my hopes that a friendly intercourse between the two peoples will result.
People of that ship, what you say is all very well, but is there any way for us to let each other go home alive?
That's all, sir. They've stopped sending.
Very direct people. Very direct.
But, sir, I don't follow. I didn't know what that meant. Is there any way for us to let each other go home alive?
It means what it says, Dort.
Sir, what's to stop us from just cutting communication and leaving? And they can do likewise.
What's to stop us? Simply that whichever ship leaves first will be followed by the other. If they find Earth and get back to their own planet and we don't know where that planet is, Earth will be completely at their mercy. If they leave first, we'll follow them. We'll attempt to find their home planet. Dort, could you swear to any decision that the policymakers on Earth will come to?
Sir, even if they do follow us, the closer we get to home, the more of our ships and weapons they'll face. They'd never get away.
Well, how do you know that they can't communicate with their home planet without returning?
We can't, sir.
How do you know they can't?
I don't, sir.
So that's the situation. We'll sit out here, facing each other, trying to outguess each other, until time wears us out. And we'll have to face the fact. Either they destroy us or we destroy them. Navigation officer, attention. Navigation officer, attention. Every star map on this ship is to be prepared for instant destruction.
The chief of this ship wishes to know whether the chief of that ship can suggest an answer to the problem concerning us both.
Do you want me to answer that, sir?
I'll answer it myself. Tell me when to talk.
Now, sir.
I am giving that matter personal attention. Every effort will be bent to the solution of this problem. Will you consider a temporary truce in the meantime?
What would a truce gain? Could we trust you? Would you trust us? I suggest that we continue as we have up to this particle of time.
I agree. Sign off, Billy.
Weeks went by, and during the weeks, the exchange of information continued without let-up.
What particle of time are the people on that ship at?
The resting time. All rest except myself and others on alert duty.
Same on this ship.
You people of that ship are very similar in many ways. Do you have a family?
I have a mate.
I have a mate and 3 offspring. It is too bad for them, as well as us, to have to kill each other.
This ship can't see any way out of it. Can that ship?
If we could believe each ship, yes. Our chief would like it. But we can't believe you, and you are afraid that we do not tell truth, although we do. This ship would trail you home if this ship were able to. That ship would do the same. But this ship feels sorry about it.
I believe you're a friend.
I share your belief and like you. But there is a possibility that you were put to make a trap for me. I will stop now and think it over.
Sit down, Dort. Control yourself. We're all under tension. Doesn't do any good to pace like some caged animal.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, I've read the complete transcription of your conversations with this one alien. What does it prove, Dort?
Sir, these people are so much like us in their thinking. Well, sir, they're likable.
They're likable and they breathe oxygen. Their air is 28% oxygen instead of 20. But they could do very well on Earth. It'd be a highly desirable conquest for them. Dort, I'm as set against violence as you are. I don't see any way out of this. And I think we've got to break this status quo. So if in 70 hours we don't see any other way, then I have no further choice. I'll blow them to bits.
Receive communications? Will that ship receive communications?
This ship is listening.
It seems to me better to communicate than to sit by the machine silently.
I would have called you, but you signed off before.
The problem goes around and around. I find no answer.
Perhaps we could turn our thoughts to other things.
The psychologist of this ship tells us that you people on that ship have a threshold of tolerance to tension. He tells us that you will be forced to take one action or another in a period of less than 100 time particles.
I have no communication on this matter.
Well, the ship is not trying to extract unwilling information from that ship. A truth is mentioned in passing.
A report of this conversation will be carried to the chief of this ship.
It would be so. We are prepared.
If only the people of this ship could meet in direct contact with the people of that ship, it might be better.
We could not communicate then. The communications machine is too large to carry from place to place. In direct contact, the peoples of the two ships would be further apart than now.
That's true.
I am sad. Much that is pleasant has passed between us.
I am sad, too.
We are not yet ready for each other.
We are not yet ready for each other.
It's hard, isn't it, Doc?
Well, Captain, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were here, sir.
I've been here for quite a while. Eavesdropping, I'm afraid.
It's all right, sir. Nothing can be personal in a situation like this.
Yeah, that's right. How long is 100 time particles, Dort?
Pardon, sir?
That reference he made to us not being able to stand tension is interesting. Their psychologists seem to make more out of us than we do out of them, don't they?
Yes, sir. They hit the nail right on the head.
Yes, they did. I think, Dort, we'll just have to push our timetable up a bit. No further communication with the aliens under any circumstances. That's clear, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Sir, if they know so much about our psychology, isn't it possible that remark was intended to make us act more quickly?
Probable, Dort. Probable.
Well, why would they do that, sir? Why?
You tell me why, Dort.
All of a sudden, I have an idea, sir. It's crazy.
It doesn't matter how crazy. I'll listen to it.
Sir, I think these people are playing some kind of a joke on us.
Joke? A joke, Dort?
Yes, sir. Over and over again, I've noticed what I think is a sense of humor. A highly developed sense of humor. Do you recall when we went to all the trouble to set up a fictitious star map and then they just sent us back a mirror image of the same one? I think somehow they're playing a joke on us.
Well, maybe you're right. In which case, you've seen practical jokers, Dort. Their jokes aren't always funny. Sometimes they hurt people. All departments, man, instant alert. All departments, man, instant alert. Report instantly. Report instantly.
Weapons Department alerted.
Target, the enemy ship.
On target, sir.
Stand by. Fire!
They're gone, sir. Not a trace of them left. Not a tiny trace. Now we can go home.
Communications to Captain. Communications to Captain.
Report.
Sir, I'm picking up new signals. Same frequency as the original alien signals.
That's impossible. That ship was destroyed.
I'm receiving signals, sir.
Set the machine up. We'll be down there in a minute. Mr. Dort, come with me, please.
It's good to be on the way home.
Yes, it is good.
Do you suppose we'll ever figure out what happened to the other ship?
Never. A blinding flash and they were gone.
I suppose they couldn't figure a way out of the situation. An unstable people. They had no sense of humor to cope with the situation. They exploded themselves out of existence.
It seems reasonable.
They must have had powerful weapons to destroy themselves so completely.
Yes, what a shame.
In a way, I grew to like them.
This isn't meant for us, sir. I don't know what's happening, but I think we're overhearing a private conversation.
I understand, Dort. Be quiet, will you?
Many things might have come out of a relationship with that people.
They were describing a disease they call cancer. I think it is similar to the Frogren syndrome. We might have helped them.
They might have helped us, too. Well, too bad. We'll never find them again, I think. The odds of such a chance meeting in the vast space of the whole universe. There are no figures for such odds, are there?
Turn it up, Dort. Turn it up louder.
That's all there is, sir. The signal stopped there. Sir, I don't know how, but somehow when we fired at them, we didn't destroy them, but we did set up a condition whereby they've become invisible to us, and we've become invisible to them.
Captain to Engineering Department. Halt forward motion.
Captain, why are we stopping?
Listen, Dort, you say they're in. They are, but they're not destroyed because we just heard them. They're out there somewhere. Invisible.
Well, you heard them, sir. They're heading for home. We're invisible to them, too, sir.
How do you know, Dort? How do you know this whole thing isn't a setup?
Well, suppose that's true, Captain. You heard their conversation. They weren't talking like any monstrous people. They seemed decent and warm, just as decent and warm as we are.
How do you know this conversation wasn't planned, deliberately set up for us to hear? How do you know that, Dort?
Yes, sir, you're right. They may be out there and they may not. They may be telling the truth or they may be trying to trick us. They may be friends or they may be the most deadly enemies.
You said they had a sense of humor, Dort. What a joke to play. To deliberately set up a situation where we wouldn't know fact from fantasy, truth from lie. Wouldn't that be a joke, Dort?
Yeah, but we don't know that they did that, sir.
And we don't know that they didn't. We don't know anything.
Sir, does that mean we never go home again?
I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to think about it.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you First Contact, written by Murray Leinster and adapted for radio by Howard Rodman. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes, Bob Hastings, Clark Gordon, William Lally, and Stan Early. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week at this time, over most of these stations, NBC will present This is Carnegie Hall, a special concert featuring the Symphony of the Air Orchestra.
The underwater city of Euclidia is a weird and terrifying place, and it would seem almost impossible to escape from this well-guarded scientific colony 400 feet below the level of the South Pacific Ocean. It would be impossible for anyone depending on the mechanical devices protecting Euclidia, but the adventuring Gregory party escaped from the Magic Island with the help of their brave little homing pigeons. And now it appears that these same little birds may aid them again. The girl submarine commander, who has proven a friend in many instances, has informed Jerry and Joan that the homing pigeons are kept in the very laboratory where Captain Bradford will work with G-47. The great difficulty now will be how to plan the use of the pigeons without being overheard. Jerry and Joan are discussing this in their own quarters.
Are you sure it's all right for us to talk now, Joan?
We are quite safe. This small room is completely lined with Euclidean cloth.
Then you're sure that if we put this cloth around the room carefully, every time we want to talk in here, that nobody's going to hear us?
That is the situation. However, we must ascertain that the cloth is in perfect condition each time we use it.
Huh? Oh, what could happen to the cloth?
You understand, do you not, that the soundproof qualities of this Euclidean cloth are contained not in the fabric of the cloth itself, but in the liquid with which the cloth is saturated.
Oh, sure, I know that. It's just plain old cloth made of seaweed until they soak it in that secret formula of theirs.
Precisely. And that soundproofing liquid may be removed just as it is applied with another liquid.
Gee whiz, Joan. You mean that one of those Euclideans might sneak in here while we're out and spoil his cloth? Take the soundproofing out of it so we'd get caught next time we try to talk about something secret?
That is precisely my meaning, Jerry. And I think it is only logical to expect such a move to be made.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right. But now that we've got it all fixed up, let's figure out what we're going to do.
I feel there is very little we can do until the captain is given the opportunity of working in the submarine laboratory with G-47 and locating the pigeons.
Well, then he'll have to plan a way to smuggle one of them on board a submarine or a rocket ship with him on a test run so that he can get a chance to turn the pigeon loose within range of Los Angeles.
How far will one of those little birds be able to fly and find my mother's home in Los Angeles?
Well, that's the trouble, Joan. And that's the reason the captain's got to try to turn them loose pretty close to home. He's not sure how far they can make it now.
At one time, the captain told me he thought 1,000 miles would be their limit.
Oh, that was all right then. They were just away from home a few weeks, and they were in training all the time. But now they've been locked up in a strange place for a long time, and they haven't had any practice. And Tex is afraid that a few 100 miles is all they can possibly make.
Then it will be necessary for the captain to arrange a long test run with a submarine or a rocket plane to release the pigeons within a short distance of Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's it.
And he will be closely guarded on those tests.
Well, yes. But Tex figures yes and no on that.
What do you mean, yes and no?
Well, G47 knows that Tex is plenty smart about machinery and probably just as good a scientist as any of the rest of them. And when Tex is out with one of those ships, testing it to find out what's wrong with it, G47 is going to give him plenty of chance to do his stuff.
Nevertheless, to carry a homing pigeon aboard with him and find the opportunity of releasing it without being observed will prove very difficult.
Oh, but it's not that hard. Tex won't care if he's observed or not once the pigeon gets away.
That is a mistake, Jerry.
What's a mistake about it?
I think we may consider that the release of the pigeon will be detected. Probably at the time it is released, or surely within a very short time.
Well, what of it? If the pigeon gets away, he's away, and that's that.
No, Jerry. As you would say, that is not that.
Well, why isn't it?
In the first place, if the pigeon is released from a rocket ship, which I consider most likely, the ship could easily overtake and destroy the little bird.
Did you ever try catching a little bird going 40 miles an hour?
Naturally not. Did you?
No, but I don't have to. You're the one that thinks it can be done.
I see no reason why that should be particularly difficult. But in the event that fog or clouds allowed the pigeon to safely lose itself, it would merely become necessary for one of the scientists to send a radio message to a Euclidean agent in Los Angeles. And the pigeon would be caught as Mr. Johnson waited for its arrival.
Yeah. Gee, I never thought of that. Johnson wouldn't even be waiting for its arrival. Johnson's like everybody else by now. He thinks we were all killed when that artificial volcano eruption made it look like the island was destroyed.
Precisely. He will be expecting no communication from us, and the little bird may not find anyone ready to receive its message.
Well, just the same, Tex figures that he can get a chance to use those pigeons to do us some good, and I think so, too.
I hope you are correct.
Well, I know I am. And in the meantime, let you and I plan a few things of our own.
What do you wish me to do?
Oh, help me think.
Think about what?
About escaping from this city in the cellar.
That would only be a waste of time. Except for the captain's daring plan, we have no hope.
Sometime I get so blamed sore at you that I could give you a good spanking.
What is a spanking?
Didn't you ever have one?
No, Jerry. I have never had a spanking. Is it something I would like very much?
No, it's something you wouldn't like very much. A spanking means that I'd turn you over my knee and paddle you good.
Paddle? I have heard of paddle. That is the instrument with which a small boat is propelled through the water, is it not?
Well, I wasn't thinking of just that kind of paddle, but maybe it's a good idea at that.
Hello, children.
Oh, Mother.
Mrs. Gregory.
What's the matter? You two seem surprised to see me.
We are.
I'll say we are. How did you get in here?
How did I get in here? You mean in this room?
No, I mean in this apartment. This big place where all our rooms are.
Oh, I simply walked in.
Jerry, do you realize what that means?
Boy, I'll say I do. It means that anybody else could have walked in just as easy and heard all we were saying.
Were you discussing something you did not want overheard?
Yes, Mother. We have covered this small closet with the Euclidean cloth, as you can see, and we were discussing...
Look out, Joan. If Mrs. Gregory walked in on us, anybody else could do the same thing.
It was indeed stupid of us, Jerry. We should have realized that while this cloth was making this room soundproof, it was also making it impossible for us to hear anyone entering these chambers.
I hope you haven't given away any of Tex's ideas.
Well, I guess we have, if anybody was listening.
Oh, Jerry.
I think we are safe this time, Mother. Jerry and I have been speaking but a few moments, and you would probably have seen anyone leaving who might have overheard us.
Yes, probably. But now that you have this little room fixed up so well, we'll continue using it with this added protection. When any two of us are discussing our plans, a third one must remain out in that other room on guard.
You're right, Mrs. Gregory. And I hope it isn't too late for your idea to be of any good.
I would not worry about that, Jerry. The element of time involved in our recent discussion should prove adequate protection.
Yeah, we didn't talk long either.
That is precisely what I said.
Well, then you took too long to say it.
Well, here you are.
Oh, Tex.
Sure happens quick.
What's this?
Now you can understand how startled Jerry and I were.
I do understand. And I also understand how dangerous it is to speak in the false security of this room.
Well, what's going on here?
Well, Joan and I covered the inside of this room with that Euclidean soundproof cloth, as you can see. And when we were talking in here, Mrs. Gregory popped in just like you did.
You see, Tex, Jerry and Joan feel that someone else, someone from whom our plans should be concealed, could have walked in on them just as easily as I did.
Oh, I see. That could happen. But remember that nobody would overhear very much when you had these curtains drawn as they were when I came in. I never heard a sound until I stuck my head through these drapes you put up.
Oh, boy. That's sure a relief.
Nevertheless, I feel that one of us should remain in the outer chamber whenever we are discussing anything of value.
By all means.
Yes, it might be safer. I have a little something to plan with Jerry right now.
Yes, Captain?
No, not for the moment, Joe. I'll tell you and Pat later. Now, if you two ladies will get busy doing nothing out in the central room, Jerry and I can do a little planning in safety behind these curtains.
Come, Joan. It's nearly time for lunch. We'll freshen up a bit.
Very well, Mother. Do not be long, Jerry.
Okay, Joan. We'll be there when the...
Well, Jerry's voice was certainly cut off sharply when that curtain fell over the doorway.
That cloth is perfectly soundproof. And, Mother...
Yes, dear?
I think that should render our fears groundless.
Oh, what do you mean?
Even if someone had entered and walked unheard to that door, as you and the captain did, they could not have heard what we were saying without opening the curtains as you did.
Let's hope you're right. But remember, Joan, dear, there are a great many things about this weird underwater city that we know nothing about. Perhaps there's some way G47 and the other scientists could overhear your conversation in that room.
Of course, that is possible, but I do not think it is at all likely.
Well, we can't help any by worrying about it. Come, dear, let's get ready for lunch.
But I have not heard the luncheon signal yet.
You'll hear it any minute now. And then that table will start coming up through the floor. You know, I'd like to visit the kitchens here and see how they do it.
I believe that could be easily arranged. We will ask G47's permission.
They must have a wonderful organization there. Food prepared for and served to nearly 300 people in a half an hour.
That is sufficient time, is it not?
Well, apparently it's quite enough here. But back home, it wouldn't be long enough.
I am afraid, Mother, that all things back home, as you call your world, must be forgotten.
Now, Joan, that's no way to talk. Tex and Jerry are planning right now. And when those two get down to business, things usually happen.
Jerry is very clever for one so young, is he not, Mother?
Yes, he is. But most young people of that age are clever. Perhaps as clever as Jerry. Most of them never get a chance to show what they really can do. As older people insist on dictating to them, overruling them on everything, and molding them to older standards, whether they fit or not. Now, Tex isn't like that. He's always figured that anybody old enough to think and express their thoughts is old enough to have an opinion worth listening to. And when Jerry gets an idea, Tex listens.
The captain is a very fine and understanding man. You are quite fond of him, are you not, Mother?
Why, yes, Joan, well, naturally, dear, oh, Joan, dear, come on, let's get ready for lunch.
Mother, why do you always seem so nervous? And why do you wish to change the subject when I inquire to your feelings for the captain?
Now, Joan, dear, we're too busy for that, and oh, there's the luncheon signal.
Yes, and the steel slide is moving in the floor. Our luncheon table will be up in a few seconds.
Perhaps you'd better go over there and tell Tex and Jerry that lunch is served.
Surely they would know that. The signal is quite plain.
But would they hear it behind the cloth?
Oh, how stupid of me, Mother. Of course not. I will call them at once. Captain Tex, Jerry, will you come? Mother.
Yes, Joan?
Come here, quickly.
What is it, dear? Has something happened?
Oh, that I do not know, but the captain and Jerry are not here.
Not here, let me see.
They are gone.
But how? Where? Is there any other opening to that room?
Not that I have been able to locate. Only this small door, and the walls, floor, and ceiling are of solid steel.
But, Joan, two men just don't fade away through solid steel.
Of course they do not. Nevertheless, they are gone, and they did not come through the door.
But where did they go, and how? Joan, we must know what's happened to them.
Down in the underwater city of Euclidia, 400 feet below the surface of the South Pacific Ocean, Mrs. Gregory and her daughter Joan find themselves in a strange and terrifying situation. One of the smaller rooms in the quarters assigned to them by the Euclideans has been lined with a soundproof Euclidean cloth to allow them to talk in privacy. Jerry and Captain Bradford were in this small room discussing plans for the possible use of homing pigeons in their escape when the time comes to capture the city. When luncheon is served, Joan calls to the conspirators
but they don't answer. Mrs. Gregory rushes to Joan's side. The room is empty.
But, Joan, there's no way to get out of this little room.
I think you are mistaken, Mother.
But these walls are solid steel behind this cloth.
Granted, nevertheless, Jerry and the captain are not in here now.
Well, where did they go?
That we cannot determine.
Oh, Joan, at times I think you are the most exasperating child I've ever known.
I am sorry, Mother.
Oh, forgive me, Joan. I didn't mean that, really. But all of this disappearing and jumping around noiselessly from place to place is just a little too much for me.
I suppose you do find it disturbing, but I have lived so long with the Euclideans that such actions are perfectly natural to me.
Well, they're not natural to me. Jerry and Tex have disappeared, and we're going to do something about it.
What can you suggest?
Well, we'll have to look for them, Joan.
I am quite willing to search, but it will be a foolish effort. We know that the construction of this room is solid steel.
Nevertheless, Tex and Jerry got out of this room.
And the means of exit is certainly closed to us.
Oh, I suppose it's hopeless. Like everything else that happens around here, we might as well sit quietly and wait for the Euclideans to bring the answer to us.
I think it would be far more sensible to partake of our lunch while we are waiting.
You're right, dear. We must eat.
Hey, Tex, here's the door.
Jerry!
That door wasn't here a minute ago.
And the captain.
Oh, sure it's us.
But where have you been?
We haven't been any place but right in this little room.
Captain, Mother, and I had just looked in this room, and you were not here.
Well, you can see that we're here now, and we never did go anyplace.
Tex, just what is this? Joan and I felt all over the walls of this room. We couldn't find a possible opening, and yet you disappeared, and the room was empty.
Now, wait a minute, Pat. Don't get excited. There's something mighty funny going on here. Jerry and I were talking in this small closet, surrounded by this Euclidean cloth. When we tried to come out, the door was gone, but we never left the room.
The explanation is quite simple, I believe.
Well, then let's have it. Mrs. Gregory looks like she's just seen a ghost.
Well, I am a little upset, Jerry.
What's your idea, Joan?
It could be only one thing, an optical illusion created by an additional partition dropped through the room.
That could have been easily enough done, but that means that we haven't the privacy we counted on.
I'll say it does. We're only kidding ourselves about being able to talk in that little room.
And if the Euclideans have overheard you, all of your plans about using the home...
Careful, Pat.
Yes, Mother. It is not wise to speak too freely now. I think we may safely feel that this soundproof cloth has served its purpose.
I hope you're right.
So do I. But I don't feel any too happy about it.
I think we'd better eat while we have a chance. Remember that it'll be 6 o'clock tonight before they push the next meal up through the floor at us.
Hey, look, we're too late. The table's starting to go back down through the floor.
We are indeed too late.
And I was hungry, too.
Well, maybe I can catch something off the table before it gets down below the floor.
Be careful, Jerry. That machinery must be very powerful.
Too late, Jerry. It's no use.
Oh, you're right. Well, there went our lunch.
I feel it's all my fault. If I hadn't been so frightened, Joan would have had sense enough to eat while the food was here.
Do not feel badly, Mother. It will not hurt any of us to do without this one meal.
That's what you think. I'll bet I shrink all up before dinner.
Yeah, I guess you can stand it, son. Well, now that we're all together again, what have we accomplished? Let's sit down and talk it over.
Well, someone has been in this apartment. Someone has been here and has made several changes since our last meal.
Well, we've been out of it since breakfast. I guess they've had plenty of chance to do anything they liked in here. But I don't see where anything's changed.
Neither do I.
I believe I know what you mean, Mother. Our steps no longer make any sound, and these metal chairs move noiselessly along the floor.
Yes, Joan, that's it.
Golly, they've been in here and put that soundproof paint all over everything.
Looks like it, but why should they do that?
You will find your radio reception much clearer in a soundproof room.
Thales.
Yes, but where's his voice coming from?
From the radio receiver installed in your apartment.
So, we're going to have a radio now. Where is it?
In the wall near the exit to the main corridor.
Yeah, look. I see it now.
I see a square of steel that appears to be slightly newer than the rest of the wall.
That is the radio installation. You will find the switch in the wall panel. After I am through addressing you, you may use this equipment at your pleasure. However, at this time, you will be prepared to give your attention to a broadcast originating in the United States.
Gee, news from home.
Oh, it'll certainly sound good to hear someone who speaks as we do.
Wait a minute, Pat. These Euclideans are so anxious to have us hear this broadcast. I have an idea that we're not going to like it any too well.
You are correct, Captain Bedford. It is entirely possible that this broadcast will contain material which may prove distasteful to you. Nevertheless, it will also contain information which should make your present position quite clear to you.
How soon does all this happen?
I am speaking to you from the central communication chamber in the heart of Euclidia. Before me is a chronometer perfectly synchronized with the time employed on your radio stations. In a few seconds, I will connect your receiver with our main apparatus, and you may listen directly to a news broadcast originating in Los Angeles. The guest of honor is your former assistant, Mr. Johnson.
Johnson? Mother, you're Mr. Johnson.
But what is he doing on a radio news program?
Silence. In less than 20 seconds, you will hear the answer for yourselves.
Tex, what is this?
I don't know any more about it than you do, Pat. But I think we'd better sit still and listen.
That is an excellent suggestion, Captain.
Good idea, too.
Quiet, everybody.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you our regular meeting with an outstanding figure in the news of the week. The past week has been a lively one in the world of news, with events crowding each other out of the way for a place on page one. But we've chosen as the most interesting single news item of the week the story of the Gregory expedition to the South Seas and the mysterious disappearance of the so-called Magic Island.
Gee, it's
We're fortunate in having with us in the studio today a man who has been closely associated with Mrs. Patricia Gregory for several years, one of her most able lieutenants, and the man who directed the rescue of the Gregory party on 2 previous attempts to escape from the influence of the Magic Island, Mr. Clyde Johnson. Will you come in, please, Mr. Johnson, and allow us to ask you a few questions?
Yes, for the sake of the general interest in this cruise, I'll be glad to offer such news as I have.
Well, Mr. Johnson, your attitude suggests that your news isn't going to be very pleasant.
Indeed, it isn't. On the contrary, I know what I have to say will strike deeply into the hearts of the thousands who have followed so sympathetically Mrs. Gregory's search for her long-lost little girl.
If you'll allow me, Mr. Johnson, I'd like to guide the path of this interview, not through any desire to interfere with your freedom in telling your story, but rather to help you extract a brief yet complete picture from the whole story.
Well, I wish you would do just that. I feel that there's so much to be told. Well, I just don't know where to start it.
Suppose we start with the beginning of the first cruise to this island.
Well, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Tex Bradford, who was in charge of all her travels and cruises, had heard over shortwave radio that her long-lost little girl, Joan, might be found on a strange island. The position of the island was given accurately.
That position was 29 degrees south, 124 degrees, 30 minutes west, was it not?
It was. A young amateur radio operator named Jerry Hall talked himself into the trip, and they sailed on Mrs. Gregory's yacht with a crew of 2, an old sea captain, John Craig, and a Scotch engineer, Angus MacLeod. They had no trouble finding the island, though it was certainly a weird place.
The island was artificial, wasn't it?
That's right. And in the complete description I shall give the news agencies, you'll find the dimensions. But for our purposes today, why, I'd say that it's enough to... the island proved to be an unnatural place. Home of a colony of brilliant, though perhaps slightly mad scientists who have developed many things far beyond our world.
And the Gregory party successfully escaped from this island after finding Mrs. Gregory's little girl living there.
Yes. They were caught and returned on their first attempt, but the second time they helped themselves to one of the submarines belonging to the scientists, and they reached Los Angeles in safety.
What isn't clear to your reporter, and I'm sure it isn't clear to our listening audience, is this. Why did they not stay safely in Los Angeles?
Well, there were 2 reasons for that. First, because Captain Bradford was convinced that these scientists are a menace to the world and should be overcome. And second, because the scientists had so many spies and agents in California, all over the world for that matter, it seemed much safer for Mrs. Gregory, Joan, Jerry Hall, and the captain to remain together on a boat, rather than to attempt to lead a normal life in this country.
And on this last trip, they reached the island.
We have every reason to believe that they did. In fact, we found their abandoned boat, stripped of everything of value, drifting at the exact location of the island.
Might I ask how you were so sure of the location if the boat was drifting?
The position was correct with that of the island, and it was exactly at that spot the eruption occurred.
Eruption? Volcanic?
Yes. The Magic Island was undoubtedly destroyed by an eruption. It must have been located in the crater of an extinct volcano. Well, that is one that was believed to be extinct.
You saw this eruption?
I'll never forget it. I was on the ship the United States had contributed to help wipe out this island. All around us were the ships of other nations who had joined us, fully armed and ready to act as a body of international police to wipe out this menace to world safety. Well, there must have been at least 100 witnesses on each boat, and everyone agrees perfectly on what happened. The sensation aboard ship was much the same as that of an earthquake, and the water was thrown violently upward in a shower of fire. The sound of dull explosions was plainly heard as vast caves filled with natural gas must have exploded. And well, there's nothing left. Nothing to mark the spot where the Gregory party landed, to pit their knowledge against the scientists of that mad colony.
You're sure, then, perfectly sure in your own mind, that this island was completely destroyed?
Anything else would be impossible. And the Gregory party has gone with that island. I think that's all.
I know how hard it's been for you to tell us this story, Mr. Johnson. You may be sure that everyone listening is deeply sympathetic toward this little party of adventurers. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have listened to an account of the destruction of the tiny island in the South Pacific, the Magic Island as we've come to know it. And with this item, your reporter concludes this broadcast.
I will now terminate your reception for this time. I trust you have heard and appreciated the story of your destruction. You are lost to the world, and you will remain so.
Gee, that gives me the creeps.
Oh, it wasn't pleasant, Jerry.
To hear ourselves spoken of as being dead.
Well, I don't blame Johnson or anyone else for thinking as they do, but we're very much alive.
I'll say we are. And before we get through with these Euclideans, the whole blame world is going to know we're alive.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century. And the shower of silver dollars from Popsicle Pete's Money Box. Now let's get back to the world of the future. When Buck, Wilma, and Dr. Hewer started on their expedition underground in the mechanical mole, Sergeant Karlborg, following orders and having no idea what might happen down there, went back to the main rocket ship hangar to contact the president's office by radio. It's there that we find him now as we turn the dial that'll project us ahead in time. Here we go, 500 years into the future.
Central Radio Bureau. Sergeant Karlberg calling Central Radio Bureau.
Central Radio Bureau, Stratton speaking.
Now listen, Stratton. I've got to get an important message through to the office of the President.
Yes?
Captain Rogers and Lieutenant Wilma and Dr. Hewer have just took off on their expedition under the ground in the mechanical mole. Ain't that something?
Yes, it certainly is. Did it sort of sudden, didn't they?
Well, they didn't want a lot of people around who might have gotten burned by the big heat ray in the nose of that machine.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll get that message.
And you know, they took off in that big machine just as calm and collected as if it was nothing at all.
Well, that's the way those folks are. I better get that message. Oh! Hey, what was that?
I don't know. It knocked me right off my chair onto the floor. Some incoming rocket ship must have banged into the side of this hangar.
What? Oh, there it goes again.
I'll go out and see what it is. I'll call you back and tell you...
No, wait a minute.
But maybe a ship was cracked up out there.
But if that's all it was, why should I feel it over here? I'm miles away from that spaceport of yours.
You mean you felt it too?
Well, like an earthquake. This whole building shook.
No. Listen. Stratton.
Yeah? What's the matter? Municipal spaceport? Calling municipal spaceport. Karlborg!
Municipal spaceport. Yeah, Karlborg.
Central Scientific Bureau speaking. Our seismographs have just registered a tremendous subterranean explosion.
I knew it.
Approximately 2 miles under the surface of your main landing field. Hello?
Captain Rogers.
Hello.
Calling Captain Rogers in the mechanical mole.
Hello,
Calling
Karlborg.
Captain Rogers.
Karlborg.
Dr. Hewer.
Hello, Scientific Bureau.
Listen,
Hello?
Rogers.
This is Stratton, the Central Radio Bureau. Yes? Dr. Hewer's mechanical mole is down there. What? The mechanical mole? Something must have happened to it. Good heavens. Is there any way of contacting it down there? Is it radio equipped? Oh, Karlborg's trying to get them now. Can you hear him? Karlborg. Sergeant Karlborg.
Talk to me so I can see what's happening. They're down there under the ground, and the mechanical mole is blown up with them inside of it.
Karlborg. Did they take a straight course down into the ground?
I don't know what they did. It's too late to save them now. They're killed. This is horrible. This is horrible. I should have ever let them go down there. An awful machine. It's a death machine. That's what it is.
Yes, sir. There's only one way to reach that mechanical mole, or what's left of it, with a long-range disintegrator. Disintegrator? Yes, by blasting away a long shaft straight into the ground. But the sides of a shaft that deep will cave in. Call out the Rocket Fleet Emergency Squad. Have them circle the area we're going to disintegrate, in order to hold back the sides of it with long-range, non-recoil energy projectors. Okay. I'll take care of notifying the President's office of what's happened from here.
Yes, sir.
I'll go to it. No, wait.
Yes?
Order an interplanetary transport ship made ready and equipped with the most powerful gravity ray available.
To pull them all up to the surface when you got a shaft down to it, eh?
That's right. Now, get going.
Right, sir.
Carlborg.
Yeah,
Sergeant
Corbett
Carlborg.
speaking.
Have
Yes,
your ground crew erect standard framework number 3X5 directly above the spot where the mechanical mole descended immediately.
Oh, what's the use of that? That's a disintegrator framework.
The only possible chance we have of reaching the people trapped in that machine down there is by disintegrating our way down to them.
It's too late.
What?
It exploded within minutes. It's too late.
Do as I tell you. The sooner we can get that giant disintegrator going, the better our chance of saving them.
Saving them. It's too late. I tell you, they're lost. They're lost down there. It's too late. All right, now. Turn that disintegrator off.
Top disintegrator!
No use, Major. As fast as you disintegrate out that hole, it fills in from the side.
Carlborg is right, Major. We've got less than half a mile down, and yet the force rays from the rocket feed up above fail to keep the sides of that hole from falling in.
And that mechanical mole is 2 miles down. The Science Bureau said so.
But we've got to get down to that mole somehow. They may still be alive in it.
We can only wall up the sides of that hole as it goes down.
Take too long. Now listen.
Yes, sir?
A corpuscular repeller ray. It exerts a constant repelling force in all directions. By aiming it into the hole as we disintegrate our way down.
Yes. Dr. Ewer has one of them things in his private laboratory.
Good. Maybe the very thing that'll save his life.
Well, I'll order it brought over here to the field right away.
Let's save his life.
What's that?
Oh, it's too late. It's too late to save him.
Have you tried to contact them again by radio, Carlborg?
Sure, I keep trying all the time, but what good is it? They're goners down there.
Stop blabbering about it being too late and stand by that radio unit.
The corpuscular repeller ray is on the way over here, Major.
Good. Then order the disintegrator to blast away again. Our only chance to reach that mechanical mole lies in the disintegrator.
Disintegrator, full blast!
Disintegrator, full blast!
Corpuscular repeller ray is on the way over here, Major. Good. Then order the disintegrator to blast away again.
Disintegrator.
Our only chance to reach that mechanical mole lies in the disintegrator. Disintegrator, full blast! Disintegrator, full blast!
Disintegrator.
What did you say, Buck?
Full blast.
And keep it going, full blast.
Where are we?
Buck, what's happened? I hear strange noises.
Huh?
Repeller ray in
Listen to
action.
me,
We can
Buck.
fall back to side.
Dr. Hewer.
Gas pocket. Explosion.
But we're still in the mechanical mole.
Now, wait a minute.
We can't
What's
save
wrong here?
Thank goodness you've come to.
Come to. Look.
Now get that ray into position.
They're all piled up on the control board. They're upside down.
Dr. Hewer, are you all right?
Sure, I'm all
We're still traveling. We're traveling straight downward.
Cut off the power, Buck, if you can.
Right. Right, sir. Great day. Explosion in that gas pocket must have knocked us all out.
But the power stayed on and the mole has kept digging its way down.
Right over the spot we blasted
Hardly.
away.
All right, then.
That's it.
The explosion didn't
Now
wreck
turn on the
the machine.
disintegrator. Right, sir.
Thank goodness for that. Listen. What's that sound?
It's coming through the radio unit.
Sounds like a disintegrator.
Seems to me I heard voices, too. A lot of funny voices buzzing around in my head.
Me too. No wonder after the shock of that explosion.
Well, thank heaven we're all in one piece again.
Cut disintegrator.
Listen.
Cut disintegrator.
Those are real voices. They're what we've been hearing. And they've been coming through the radio unit, too.
It's no use.
Listen.
There's nothing we can do to keep the sides of this shaft we're blasting away from caving in.
Shaft, they're blasting away.
What's Major? They're still down there, trapped in that mechanical mold of the explosion. And heaven only knows how we'll be able to reach.
Wait a minute. Don't you see? Doctor, the explosion was felt up on the surface. They probably tried to contact us. That's why their radio transmitter's on up there. So, of course, we hear them.
Oh, of course.
Being out cold, we couldn't answer.
So now, in order to rescue us, they're trying to disintegrate a shaft down here.
Oh, shoot.
That voice is Major Stanton. We'd better contact him. By all means, right away. Yes, sir. Calling Major Stanton. Calling Major Stanton.
The radio. That's on the mechanical mole wavelength.
Hey, Major Stanton.
Impossible. Hello?
Hello, Major. This is Buck Rogers.
What?
Hey, hello up there.
Captain Rogers. I told you they were all right down there. Captain Rogers, where are you? What happened?
Well, we ran into a gas pocket, Major, and the blame thing sort of blew up on us.
Oh, thank heaven you're all right again. Or are you?
Well, a little shook up, that's all.
It doesn't seem possible, Captain. That explosion fairly rocked the whole city.
Yeah, it kind of banged things around down here, too. You see, when we came to a minute ago, we found the mechanical mole was still plowing its way downward. But we've cut off the power now.
Oh, then it's still in working order.
Yeah?
Word that you're all right has got to all the people up here, Captain. They're cheering and yelling all over the landing field. And many are on their knees offering thanks.
Well, tell them we're all okay and that everything's all right.
I will. But now, is there anything we can do to help you return safely to the surface? How far down are you?
Well, I don't know. You see, most of the instruments here on the control board are smashed. And at the rate we were going, there's no telling how far downward we've traveled since that explosion.
I see. But, of course, you're returning to the surface now, so
Returning to the surface?
Yes, of course.
Well, not a bit of it. We're just getting started on this underground exploring expedition.
But good heavens, Captain
Isn't
Rogers.
that right, Wilma?
Sure.
Dr. Hewer?
Absolutely.
Sure, Major. But don't worry. We'll keep in touch with you by radio. And if anything exciting happens, we'll let you know.
If anything exciting happens. Huh. Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't miss the next episode for anything.
Presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Last week, Dr. Zarkov, after freeing Dale and Khan, captured the cooks and guards in the kitchens of Queen Azura, and also took prisoner Tall, her chief magician. From Tall, Zarkov learned that Flash was being drugged by lithium in his wine. When Azura called for more wine, Dale warned Flash that his wine was drugged. Flash, his suspicions aroused, asked Azura to drink his potion, and when she refused, he forced her to swallow the drugged wine which had been served to him. Immediately, the wicked witch queen lost her memory and was unable to remember who she was. In the meantime, Zarkov had learned from Tall what chemical would serve as an antidote for the lithium. He hurried to Flash with a prescribed amount, which, unless Flash had been drugged for too long a time, ought to bring back his memory. And both Zarkov and Dale urged Flash to drink the lithium antidote and see what effect it would have. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the big full-page Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The big full-page Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. Flash is standing with the cup of lithium antidote raised to his lips. He is undecided as to whether or not he should drink it. Dale again urges him to...
Drink it, Flash, darling.
Yes, quickly, my lad, drink. Very well. I'm Dale, my sweetheart.
Yes, Flash.
And Zarkov, my friend, now and always, son.
He remembers Dr. Zarkov.
Yes, Dale.
He didn't have too much lithium.
I remember. Lithium? What are you talking about? Why, where are we? How did we get here?
We are in the palace of Azura, queen of the blue magic men. You and Dale were captured while reconnoitering. Then Azura kept you drugged with lithium, so you would not remember any of the past.
Good heavens. How long was I like that?
4 weeks. So long that we were afraid that the lithium antidote you just drank might have no power to bring back your memory.
It sounds as though you were telling me about some other fellow. And I really didn't recognize you, either of you.
No. You called me girl.
I didn't, Dale.
And when I came from Vultan's kingdom to rescue you, you threw some kind of paralyzing bomb at me and took me prisoner.
You must have thought I was either crazy or a turned traitor, Dr. Zarkov.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was worried about you, lad.
Well, I'm all right now, thanks to you.
And Dale?
Well, that goes without saying. You know that I'm grateful to you for sticking by me, don't you, darling?
Of course, Flash.
Well, old friend, what's to be done now?
While you were still under the influence of the lithium, you forced the Queen to drink some of it also. Now she is in the same state you were.
Oh, I say, that's awful. What can we do about it?
Awful? You do not understand, my boy. That is good. With Azura drugged, we can take command of the whole kingdom.
But I have my own kingdom yet to conquer. What do I want with this one?
You must take everything in your stride, Flash. You conquered the cavemen and the lizard men, remember? Now you must subdue these blue magic men.
Very well. I'll proclaim myself king. But I'll let this witch queen run the land for me. What's her name?
Don't you remember, Flash?
No, remember? Why, I've never heard it.
Her name is Azura.
Azura? Where is she?
In there, through that curtained arch.
I'll just go in and tell her how things stand. I'll be right back.
Hurry back, Flash.
I will.
Who is it? Oh. Who are you, fair-haired youth?
You don't remember me, eh?
I never saw you before in my life. And as for remembering, why, I cannot even remember who I am. Oh, what shall I do?
Listen to me. I'll tell you who you are. You're Azura.
Azura? That's a pretty name. Who are you?
I'm Flash Gordon.
Flash? Flash Gordon. You are very handsome, Flash Gordon.
Don't try to get personal, Azura.
You are rude as well as handsome.
Never mind that. I'm here on business.
Business? What do you mean?
I'm king here.
Oh, forgive me, Your Majesty. I did not know.
That's all right, Azura. I'm your king, but you are going to rule this land.
I, Your Majesty?
Yes, under my orders.
You honor me, Your Majesty. What does my king wish me to do?
First, call out the entire army so that I may review it.
At once, Your Majesty. Oh, God.
Your Majesty.
Summon the entire army to touch and review before King Flash.
Can I review my troops from that balcony yonder, Azura?
I'll see, Your Majesty. Oh, yes, Your Majesty. You can review them from here.
Good. I'll be right there in a moment. Zarkov.
Yes, Flash. What is it?
I've told Azura who I am and that she is to obey my orders. She has just sent word for her entire army to pass in review before me.
Good. That will give us a fine idea of the forces under your command.
Go in there and keep an eye on that woman. I don't trust her.
At once, Flash.
Well, Flash, now that you've got an army to take your interest, I guess you don't need me.
Eh? What's that?
I said you don't need me now that you've got an army to take your interest.
Why, that's not true, Dale. Armies, kingdoms, they mean nothing to me as far as you're concerned.
Are you sure, Flash?
Why, of course I am. Why do you think I'm conquering this kingdom? For you, sweetheart.
For me?
Certainly. Have you forgotten that I love you, Dale?
I thought you had forgotten.
Dale, how can you say that?
You called me girl and treated me as a slave in front of Azura.
I couldn't help that. Dale, I didn't beat you or hurt you, did I?
No. I must admit you tried your best to protect me from the wicked Queen's punishment.
Oh, thank heaven. I was afraid I might have hurt you.
Oh, you hurt me, all right.
What?
Every time I saw you with her, you hurt me terribly.
Oh, come now. What could make you jealous, Dale?
The way you acted.
The way I acted? Well, how did I act?
You kissed her hands and told her you loved her and would die for her. And lots more.
I did?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember.
Flash, are you accusing me of lying?
Of course not, sweetheart. I only said I don't remember it. I was drugged. You heard Zarkov tell me I was.
Yes, I know. And I was the one who gave it to you.
You gave it to me. And yet you blame me for what I did while under its influence?
Oh, I didn't know I was giving it to you.
You didn't know?
Not until we captured Carl and made him tell us how you were being drugged.
Carl? Who's Carl?
Azura's chief magician.
Oh. Well, let's all forget what happened in those days of darkness. I have.
I wish I could, Flash.
You can, and you must, dearest. If you don't, things can never be the same for us.
I can't quite forgive the way you acted about that woman.
Now, don't be like that, Dale. I didn't love her, no matter what I said. She tricked me.
Flash, Dale, the army is ready to be reviewed. Come.
Coming, Zarkov. Let's not talk like this anymore, Dale. Too near quarreling. I don't like it.
Neither do I, but...
Come, Dale. Let's go and inspect the army.
They're all lined up, Flash. I'm waiting for the order to pass in review.
Give the order, Azura.
At once, Your Majesty. Salute your ruler, King Flash. Is this your queen, Your Majesty?
Yes, that is, she will be soon.
She is very beautiful.
Look, Flash, the First Legion is wheeling and starting this way.
What is the name of this legion?
I do not know. Guard, tell His Majesty what legion this is.
The advance guard, Your Majesty. Oh, what a splendid company. And those coming next, what are they? Light magic artillery, Your Majesty. But what are those tremendous objects being pulled by the next legion?
I do not know what you call them, but I do know that they are just 2 Hawkmen.
Those are the combustion ray machines. They eject flames, Your Majesty. And this company? Stone Formation Legion, Your Majesty. And the ones with cloaks? The Invisibility Legion, Your Majesty. And the Peculiar Shield? The Transparent Wall Legion, Your Majesty. And those machines coming now? The Salvo Gun Legion, Your Majesty.
And still they come, legion after legion.
Wonderful. I have never seen such an army.
Well, guard, have you forgotten the regulations requiring you to salute a general?
I'm sorry, General Toll.
Sorry.
You'd better wait a little while before going up there.
Wait, why? Wait for what?
The enemy are on the balcony with Queen Azura. They're reviewing the troops.
Reviewing the troops, are they? What right have they to be doing that?
The Queen herself gave the order, General.
Oh, she did, eh? Why didn't somebody send for me? She wouldn't have let the enemy have this chance to size up our army if I'd been here.
It was all done so quickly, General. None of us had time to do anything.
Indeed. Well, they can't get away with it. I'll fix them. They're all on the balcony, you say?
Yes, General.
Yes, in what order are they standing on the balcony?
I'll see.
Well?
He whom they call King Flash, standing in the very center, behind the royal insignia.
And the Queen?
She's at his left.
That's the old man with the beard and the girl.
Yes, they're standing at the right of him.
And Flash Gordon is standing directly in the center, eh? And I can do it. By Tau, I can do it.
What, General?
Save the Queen and Blue Magic Land from the hands of these ex-prisoners.
How will you do it, General?
You stand here. See that no one gets behind me. I'll go up these stairs, drive this sword through Flash's back, and in the confusion, run down this way and call the guards.
Hope you succeed, General Toll. Good luck.
Hold your tongue. Just see to it that I'm not cut off when I start to run back this way.
Flash, behind you, look out!
Death to the invader!
Why, you? Have me in the back, will you? Never. You.
My sword!
And now, whoever you are, over the side of the balcony you go. Come here.
That was Paul. You may have killed him.
He seems to be moving down there. Guard, see that he's carried away and his wounds dressed.
No, Flash, you are making a mistake. Kill him or lock him up. I warn you, he is a troublemaker.
Is Paul dead, or will he recover and continue plotting to free his Queen Azura and keep the Blue Magic Land from being ruled by Flash Gordon? See for yourself in full-color action pictures these amazing adventures next Sunday in the big full-page comic weekly, which is distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Besides Flash Gordon, you will want to see many other pictures of fun and adventure, which are brought to you exclusively each Sunday by the Comic Weekly. Bringing up Father, the Katzenjammer Kids, Fritz and Casper, The Little King, Skippy, and many, many others. The Comic Weekly entertains as no other picture magazine because the Comic Weekly brings to you exclusively the work of the world's foremost artists in humor and adventure. So be sure to get the big full-page comic weekly next Sunday with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And don't forget our date next week for another episode in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
As you remember, a brilliant half-mad Nazi scientist named Der Teufel injected a solution of highly radioactive kryptonite into the veins of a young German, thus making him an atomic monster, able to destroy anything in his path. Appearing as an ordinary young man named Henry Miller, the Atom Man secured a position as a reporter on the Metropolis Daily Planet, with orders to find and destroy Superman. As we continue now, in a shabby basement room of a Metropolis tenement, Henry Miller is telling Teufel of an important discovery he made at the Daily Planet that evening. Disguised in a black wig and drooping mustache, his skin dyed olive, Der Teufel's frog-like eyes blaze behind thick-lensed spectacles as he interrupts angrily.
What? You say Superman appeared at the Daily Planet this evening?
Yes, I was going through Miss Lane's desk as you told me to, trying to find some clue as to how the paper contacted Superman. And suddenly he was there.
And you let him get away?
I had to, Teufel, you see.
What do you mean you had to? Did you not have your metal gloves and the salt converter with you?
Yes, but...
What? Nothing. You had only to slip them on, touch the switch on the converter, and such atomic power would have poured from your fingers that Superman would have fallen helpless at your feet. Fool, blockhead. Conquering Superman means everything to us, everything. Once he becomes our slave, the rest of the world will fall into our laps like ripe plums.
I know, but I had to let him get away tonight. Just as I was about to put on my gloves and converter, young Olson and Miss Lane came in.
You should have destroyed them, too.
I didn't dare to. You told me to act with the utmost secrecy until Superman was in our hands.
I said if it was possible. Can you not think at all for yourself? Now Superman has escaped you. Who knows when and where he will return?
I know how to make him return.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you say you know how to find Superman?
I do.
How? Tell me. Stop grinning like a fool and talk.
I can reach him through Clark Kent.
Clark Kent? The Daily Planet reporter?
Yes. Kent is the planet's contact with Superman. I found that out tonight.
He is? How do you know?
Superman came to the planet to see Kent. He told Olson and Miss Lane that he did. And he admitted that he and Kent were working on something together.
So, that is very interesting. So Clark Kent is the Daily Planet's contact with Superman. I can believe that. Kent is very clever. Well, perhaps you did not fail completely after all.
Of course I didn't. All we have to do is grab Kent, take him somewhere, and make him understand that his life depends on his bringing Superman to us.
Ha! And have every policeman in Metropolis searching for us? 9. That is the way for men without brains, for stupid gangsters.
What?
Silence. Now listen to me. This is what you will do. Beginning tomorrow, when you report to the Daily Planet, you will cultivate Kent.
Cultivate him?
Yeah, make him your friend. Flatter him, but not too obviously. Then, once he has become your friend, it should not be too difficult to have him arrange a meeting with Superman. Or we can invent some story of a great trouble in which you are involved and from which only Superman can save you. You see?
Yes, and it ought to work.
Yeah, and with the power I have given you, we shall rule the world together. Go now, it is late. Go home and sleep, and in the morning you will begin with Kent.
All right, Teufel. Wait, I just remembered something.
Yeah?
This evening at the Daily Planet, when I was leaving, I passed close to Superman. I noticed that he turned pale and his eyes seemed to glaze.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, and when I got to the door of the city room, I looked back. He collapsed into a chair, and Miss Lane and young Olson were asking him if he was sick.
He was affected by the kryptonite in your blood. If it had been in its original form, he would have lost consciousness.
Yes, I know, but tell me, are you sure that nobody else is affected by it?
Of course I am. Did I not walk with it? On contact, a large piece of it will burn the skin, but until its atomic energy is released, it is harmless to everyone except Superman.
Then why was Clark Kent affected by it?
What is this? Kent was affected?
Yes, this afternoon in Miss Lane's office. Kent came in and was introduced to me. He was looking fine, he was in good spirits, but the moment he came near me, he turned pale, his eyes glazed, and he collapsed into a chair, exactly as Superman did this evening.
Yeah, go on.
At first I thought he was having a heart attack, but everyone there said that he was sound as a rock and nothing like that had ever happened to him before. So it must have been the kryptonite in my blood. And if that's the case, how can I get friendly with him? I won't be able to get near him without...
Wait. Could it be?
Could what be?
Himmel. Could it be that Clark Kent is Superman?
Clark Kent? Superman? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the more I think of it, the more I am convinced that we have stumbled on the most closely guarded secret in the history of civilization. Superman's identity. Yeah, now that I look back, when I myself was involved with Superman, Clark Kent also appeared. Not once, but on a number of occasions.
Teufel, it's incredible.
And tonight, you learned from Superman himself that Clark Kent is his contact with the Daily Planet. If Kent is Superman, making contact with himself would be easy, nine?
Yes, of course, but...
I know what you are about to say. We are not certain.
That's right.
Then we will make certain. We will prove it to ourselves beyond any doubt.
How?
Listen carefully. I have discovered that the alpha rays in kryptonite do not penetrate lead. Tonight I will prepare for you a vest treated with a special tincture of lead. It will cover your heart and your main arteries and prevent the emanations of the kryptonite in your blood from escaping. It is these emanations, I am certain, that weakened Superman when he was in your presence.
I don't understand.
Do not interrupt. Tomorrow morning at the Daily Planet, you will approach Clark Kent wearing the lead-treated vest. If he is not affected in your presence, leave and remove the vest. When the opportunity arises, approach him again. If then he is affected, he will have positive proof.
And when we have that proof?
Then we have Superman. Exactly where we want him. If we are right, if Clark Kent is Superman, it would be dangerous to carry the gloves and converter with you because of his X-ray vision.
You think of everything, don't you, Teufel?
At the moment, I am thinking of only one thing, my young friend. I am thinking of final victory over the so-called Man of Steel. I'm thinking of ruling the world as no living man
His
has ever...
frog-like eyes blazing with something close to madness. The Teufel, whose name means the devil, prepares to expose Superman's double identity. Will he succeed where so many others have failed? We'll return in a moment for today's climax. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, a new kid moved into our neighborhood the other day, and right away, when he met Eddie, he spied those brand new comic buttons Eddie's collecting from packages of Kellogg's Pet. So, of course, he wanted some of those comic buttons, too. But, you know, for some strange reason, he didn't know how to get them. Well, he said to Eddie, "I'll bet you spend all your allowance for those sharp-looking buttons." Well, when Eddie told him that you don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box stop, he hot-footed it home to ask his mother to get him some Kellogg's Pep. And no wonder. Each one has a true-to-life picture of one of your favorite comic strip characters, like Skeezix and Uncle Walt and Winnie Winkle and Superman, of course. Why, all the fellows and girls are set to collect all 18 different buttons in the series. So if you want to get in on the fun, ask Mom to get you a package of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these swell buttons.
You can't even buy them anywhere, but inside every package of Pep, you'll find a thrilling prize. One of these smart new comic buttons or a military insignia or warplane button. Remember, that's P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
It is not quite 9:30 the following morning. Clark Kent, summoned by a telephone call from Jimmy Olsen, enters the city room of the Daily Planet and proceeds to Editor Perry White's office.
Good morning, Chief. Good morning, Jim.
Morning.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kent. Gee, it's swell to see you back at the Planet.
He's not back. He's just paying a brief call.
That's right. Jim, you said there was a cable.
Oh, why don't you two kiss and make up? This place isn't the same without Mr. Kent, Chief.
I expect my reporters to spend their working hours reporting. Theory with which Mr. Kent doesn't seem to agree. Give him this cablegram.
Oh, okay. Here it is, Mr. Kent. It's from Army Intelligence in Berlin.
Oh, it is? Good. Maybe they...
Maybe who? What?
Now, let me remind you, Kent, if that cable has to do with any story you were working on while you were a member of my staff, I'm entitled to it.
Well, that's a relief.
Huh? What is?
Oh, all my troubles are over.
They are?
Uh-huh.
What troubles?
Der Teufel is dead. The kryptonite is gone for good, and now I can stop worrying about the Atom Man.
Well, what Atom Man?
You say Teufel is dead, Kent?
That's what Colonel Greeley says. Apparently they traced him to a cave in the Black Forest in Germany where there'd been a terrific explosion. They caught a Nazi, a former Gestapo man, trying to sneak out of the woods. He told our men what had happened, hoping to save his own neck.
Well, what did he tell them?
That Teufel had been experimenting with a piece of kryptonite, trying to create an atom man.
A what?
An atom man. But we can forget all that now. Teufel blew himself and several other Nazis in the cave to Kingdom Come, and the kryptonite was destroyed, too. Ah, yes, sir. All Superman's worries are over.
But what?
Quiet, Olsen, quiet. Kent, this is a terrific story. Police all over the world were looking for Teufel. This cablegram gives us a scoop. It hasn't been on the teletype yet.
Uh-huh. You want me to write it?
Naturally. What are you standing there grinning like a dead... Now, wait a minute. If I take you back, do you think you can attend to business and let Superman take care of himself?
Well...
He really doesn't need your help, you know.
That's what you think, Chief. But I'll try to be good. Come on, Jim, let's get to work.
Yes, sir. This is more like it. Hot dog.
Just a minute, Cat.
Yes?
I told that new man Miller to take your office.
Oh.
When he comes in this morning, give him a desk in the city room.
Okay. Come on, Jim. Oh, say, I feel like the man in the death house who just got a pardon from the governor.
Well, I don't get it, but as long as you feel good, it's okay by me.
Oh, there's Miller coming in now.
Huh?
We've got to tell him about the switch. Let me handle it, Jim, huh? No sense causing any hard feelings. Poor Miller hasn't hurt anyone.
Smiling for the first time in days, Clark Kent steps forward to meet the one human being on the entire face of the earth who has it within his power to destroy him. No, Henry Miller hasn't hurt anyone yet. But that time is soon coming, and unknowingly Kent is walking into the trap with his eyes open. Anything can happen from here on in, and something does tomorrow. So don't fail to listen. Tune in, same time, same station, to The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Believing that Der Teufel, the brilliant half-mad Nazi scientist, had been killed, and that the piece of kryptonite which robs him of his strength had been destroyed, Superman relaxed, thinking he was out of danger. But as we know, Teufel is in Metropolis with a young, American-educated German named Henry Miller, whom he has transformed into what he calls an Atom Man, able to destroy anything in his path. Learning that Clark Kent and Superman had both become dazed in Miller's presence, Teufel reached the startling conclusion that Kent and Superman were one and the same person. To test his theory, Teufel treated Miller's vest with a tincture of lead and explained to him,
"This vest will prevent the emanations of the kryptonite in your blood from escaping. If Kent is not affected when you wear the vest in his presence, but is affected when you are not wearing the vest, then we will know he is Superman.
As we continue now, we find the slim, blonde atom man wearing the leaded vest at the Daily Planet, where he is talking with Clark Kent in the latter's office. Listen.
I heard that Mr. White changed his mind about firing you, Mr. Kent. I guess that means I'm through, huh?
Oh, no, not at all, Miller. No, we can use another reporter, and the chief thinks you make a good one.
Well, that's a relief. I know I'm no great shakes, but you're one of the best reporters in the country, and here I was, Mr. Nobody, taking over your office and expected to fill your shoes. Believe me, I'm tickled pink to see you back.
Oh, thanks. Come on, we'll find your desk out in the city room.
Swell.
Oh, let's see. Well, there's a vacant desk next to Jim Olson's. How does that strike you?
Couldn't be better. I like Jim.
Oh, he's a grand youngster. Got the makings of a first-class reporter, too. I ought to warn you, though. Jim can ask more questions per minute than any 6 other humans.
I'm used to that. I've got 2 kid brothers.
Oh, that's
They're
all.
pretty good on the question stuff, too.
They live here in Metropolis with you?
No, they're out in California with my mother.
Oh.
They're another reason I'm glad I'm holding the job. Those kids use up a lot of shoe leather.
I bet they do. Ah, here we are.
Say, this looks okay.
You'll probably find a lot of accumulated junk in this desk. If you do, just dump it in the basket. Huh?
Okay, thanks loads, Kent.
Not a bit.
By the way, I wonder if I could ask you a favor.
Of course. What is it?
Well, I've never worked on a big paper like this, and naturally I'm anxious to make good. Would you mind if I came to you for advice now and then?
Why, certainly not. Pop in any time.
Thanks again, Kent.
Hi,
Mr. Kent.
Hi.
Hello,
Jim.
Jim.
Hi.
I'm going to be your neighbor.
Oh, that's swell, Mr. Miller.
Look, let's drop the Mr. Miller stuff. Everybody calls me Hank.
Okay, Hank it is.
Well, I'd better dump my coat in the locker and get to work. Thanks for everything. I'll see you later.
Okay.
You know, he seems like a pretty nice guy, Mr. Kent.
Yes, he does. Acted very decently about being moved out of my office. Oh, good morning, Lois.
Hi, Miss Lane.
Good morning, Clark. Jim, listen, what does I hear about the Teufel being killed?
Well, that's right, in Germany. And the piece of kryptonite he stole was blown up with him.
Well, I hate to say it, but it's a good thing. Teufel was as bad as they come. Well, now you can stop worrying about Superman, Clark.
You're telling me. Well, I got to get to work. See you later, Jim.
You bet, Mr. Kent.
Now that you're back on the job, what happens to Henry Miller?
Oh, he stays on. He's taking the desk next to Jim's.
That's good. The poor fellow was right in the middle.
Yes, and he needed a job. Supports a mother and 2 brothers.
Oh, is that so?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll see you later.
Incidentally, Miss Lane, you and I have a little matter to discuss.
Oh, have we?
Yes, have we? It concerns my having been dragged off to that rest farm.
Oh, that.
That.
Yes, well, can't we forget it, Clark?
It's a little hard to forget the barred windows.
I just thought I was doing the right thing, honestly, Clark.
All right, we'll forget it. How about lunch?
Well, pick me up at noon, will you?
Right.
Entering his office, Clark Kent closes the door behind him. A few minutes later, Henry Miller, having removed his lead-treated vest and placed it in his locker, returns to the city room and walks past Jimmy Olsen.
Hey, Hank, this is your desk.
Yeah, I know. I just remembered something I wanted to ask Kent about. I'll be back soon, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Kent wasn't affected by the kryptonite while I was wearing my vest. Now we'll see what happens when I'm not wearing the vest.
Come in.
Are you very busy, Mr. Kent?
No, not at all. Come in.
Thanks.
Now, what's on your mind, Miller?
Mr. White asked me yesterday to do a story on the candidate for mayor for the Sunday sheet. I was wondering how long to make it.
How long?
Yes, I suppose we use a lot of photographs and... What's the matter, Mr. Kent?
Matter?
Yeah, you're looking at me so strangely, and you're very pale. Is something wrong?
I don't know. I feel so...
So what?
So weak. As if all my strength were leaving me.
Good gosh, can I do something?
I can't understand. Get me some water, please.
Sure, of course. Don't try to move, Kent.
Can't...
Jim, Miss Lane, something happened to Mr. Kent.
What? What is it?
I don't know. Get him a glass of water. Hurry, pale as a ghost.
Where's Miss Lane? Miss Lane? Miss Lane?
As Jimmy rushes for a glass of water and Lois dashes from her office, Henry Miller hurries to the locker room where he once more dons his lead-treated vest. Then he returns to Kent's office where Jimmy and Lois are hovering anxiously around Kent's chair.
How do you feel now, Clark?
Drink some more water, Mr. Kent.
I'll be all right.
How is he, Miss Lane?
I don't know. You were here when it happened, weren't you, Mr. Miller?
Yes, we were talking when all of a sudden he turned pale and said he felt weak.
Well, jeepers. The same thing happened to him yesterday.
can't understand it. It's just like when the kryptonite...
The kryptonite?
Oh, but there isn't any here. I know there isn't.
What does he mean?
He's becoming irrational again, just like he did yesterday. He gets illusions that Superman is in danger. Listen, Jim, you better call a doctor.
Okay, I'll call Doc Jennings. You better get the chief, Miss Lane.
He's out of the office. Oh, dear, Superman should have left him at the rest farm. He's losing his mind. I know he is.
I'm sure it isn't anything so serious, Miss Lane. How do you feel now, Mr. Kent?
Oh, much better, thanks, Miller. Sorry to have been so much trouble.
You are feeling better, Clark?
Oh, sure.
You sure?
Positive. I'm perfectly all right now.
He isn't?
I can't understand what happened to me.
Have you been examined by a doctor lately?
Why, yes. I'm in perfect
No,
shape.
mind. We can't wait that long. Dr. Jennings is out on a case, Miss Lane. He won't be available for a couple of hours.
I don't need a doctor, Jim. I feel fine.
Now, look here, Clark Kent. You are going to be examined by a physician, and that's all there is to that.
Well, I think Miss Lane is right, Mr. Kent.
I certainly am right. Now, look...
All right. I know that look in your eye, Lois. I'll go see my own doctor.
Good. Get your hat and come on. You too, Jim.
Well, now, wait a minute. I don't need a bodyguard.
Jim and I are going with you, Clark, to make sure that you don't change your mind. Now, come on. Come along now. Oh, if Mr. White gets back before we do, will you tell him what happened, Mr. Miller?
Yeah, all right, Miss Lane. I hope you'll be all right, Mr. Kent.
I'm all right now. Be back soon.
So long, Hank.
So long, Jim. They're gone. 7, 4, 3, 7, 9. It worked. Kent was affected again. He must be...
Hello?
Teufel, this is Miller. Listen.
No names, you fool.
I'm sorry, but listen, you were right. He is the man you thought, the one we want.
You are positive?
Yes. When I wore the vest, he wasn't affected. But when I took it off, he became dazed and almost collapsed, just like he did yesterday.
Good. Very good. That makes it much simpler. How are you getting along with him?
Fine. I'm sure that he likes me. And trusts me. So does Jim Olsen.
I said no names. Now listen to me. The young one you just mentioned. The other one is very fond of him. If we can find a way of getting the young one to the beach house...
I don't know how I can do that.
A story.
A what?
The promise of a big newspaper story. You are a reporter, are you not? Now listen closely. This is what you are to do. You will go to your editor and tell him that you received a
Convinced now that Clark Kent and Superman are one and the same person, the Teufel gives the Atom Man final instructions.
We'll return in a moment to learn what happens. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, one of the gang said the other day, he can't figure out which is the most fun when Mom brings home some Kellogg's Pep, eating big heaping bowls full of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, or finding out which prize is in the package. Those brand new comic buttons are sure making a big hit. First off, those pictures of your favorite funny sheet characters are so lifelike that, well, they look almost as if they could talk, like Smilin' Jack and Moon Mullins and Harold Teen, and Superman, of course. We couldn't leave him out. And then there's the fun of collecting all 18 buttons, swapping duplicates with your friends, and rounding out your whole collection. So how about asking Mom to get you a package or two of Kellogg's Pep tomorrow? That's the only way you can get these dazzling new comic buttons. You don't buy them, and you don't send in any money, not even a box top. They're exclusive prizes in packages of Kellogg's Pep. Inside every package, there's one of these exciting new comic buttons or a military insignia or warplane button. So tell your mother you'd like plenty of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
It is just an hour since Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane accompanied Clark Kent to a doctor, and Henry Miller, the Atom Man, received final instructions from Der Teufel. Now, as Jimmy returns to the Daily Planet City room, Miller hails him.
What's with Mr. Kent, Jim? Huh? Oh, the doctor couldn't find a thing wrong with him. He figured he might have eaten something that didn't agree with him. He made him promise to stay home and rest till tomorrow.
I'm glad it's nothing serious. Well, let's go.
Huh? Go where?
Oh, I didn't tell you, did I? I got a tip on a big story after you left, and Mr. White said I could take you along. Come on, we got to rush.
Oh, a big story. What is it?
I'll tell you on the way. I've got a car waiting. I didn't want to go without you.
Well, gee, that's awful nice of you, Hank.
You and Mr. Kent have been swell to me, and I appreciate it. Also, this is a pretty long ride, and I like company. Especially your company, Jim.
Oh, gee whiz. Thanks.
Unaware that his companion is the deadly Atom Man, Jimmy Olsen follows Henry Miller from the Daily Planet. Where is Miller taking the boy reporter? And what is the trap now being set for Superman? Der Teufel's carefully laid plans are rushing to a startling climax. And tomorrow the Atom Man and Superman meet face to face in a battle to the death. So don't miss tomorrow's tense, exciting episode, no matter what happens. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Tune in, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise shift. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. A great time capsule has been lowered into the ground at the Venus Interplanetary Exposition. It contains the story of man's march through space and records of industrial, cultural, and scientific progress, all meant for the information of humanity in future ages. But Eddie Morgan and Bill Rice find that a precious secret has also been accidentally put into the capsule, and they succeed in getting to the capsule and stealing the vital information. Now, at Space Academy, cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning wait for Captain Strong to return from a high-level conference with Commander Arkwright.
Sit down, Roger, or by the craters of Luna, I'll blast you down.
Let me alone, Junior. For letting those crooks slip through our fingers, we deserve a good, hard, jet-propelled kick.
I know how you feel, Roger, but we were pretty lucky to get out of that shaft at all.
Sure, which doesn't change the fact that there's a couple of jokers running around loose somewhere in the universe with the master formula for operating all energy locks. And we let them get away with it. We, Tom.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, Manning.
Captain Strong.
Hello, boys. If it'll help, Commander Arkwright wants me to thank you.
He does?
Yes, Manning, if you two hadn't become suspicious of that phony space ride concession and found the shaft dug to the capsule, we'd never have known anything.
You know, that's right. Come to think of it, we were pretty keen.
Careful, Roger. You'll break your arm.
Huh?
Patting yourself so hard on the back.
I'm just agreeing with Commander Arkwright.
Oh, just the same. We should have been...
Hold it, boys. This is no time for a squabble.
Oh, sorry, sir. Has a general alarm gone out? To pick up Morgan and Rice, I mean.
No, and I don't expect one will. You've got to realize what a panic that'd cause. Every bank vault, the safes on all rocket ships, every secret of the Solar Alliance is protected by energy lock.
That's why I think you'd want to...
Put them all on guard? No. Certainly not before we know more about Rice and Morgan's whereabouts. And as a matter of fact, they may not even be able to understand the formula they stole from the capsule. At least that's what we're hoping.
You're being called on the teleceiver, sir.
I'll take it, Corbett. Captain Strong here. Oh, yes, Lieutenant Wolchek. What? You have? I see. 500,000, huh? Take this order, Lieutenant. Plan F is in force. Group 8, Squadron 9. Have you got that? Good. We'll blast off immediately.
Plan F, sir? And that must mean bad news.
It certainly does, Corbett. A passenger ship on its way to Mars has just been pirated of 500,000 credits.
Oh, brother, that means Morgan and Rice have gone to work.
Exactly, Manning. The thieves went through the energy lock as though it was space dust.
Sir, are we going to get a crack at those two?
Not only you, but the whole Solar Guard.
What kind of a ship have they got, anyway?
They seem to be using the same chemical fuel job they were using here at the exposition. At least it fits the description of the pirate rocket.
That old beat-up hulk, the Nancy Adams? They won't get very far in that.
Maybe not, but we're not taking no chances. Rocket cruiser Orion is on patrol in Sector 12, Chart M. She's been ordered to move in. Squadron 9 is getting ready now, and we'll be blasting off with it, just as soon as we can get to Venusport.
What'd I tell you, Rice? Just like tackling a can of sardine.
A full-size spaceport. And we opened it up like that and took their credits easy as rolling off a log.
Yeah. Will you ever forget the look on the skipper's face when that vault door swung open? And this is just the beginning, Rice. The first job. Don't forget the payroll for the miners on Titan. 5 million credits.
Something on the radar. Let me take a look.
Hey, Eddie, come quick. What's the matter? Running into a little space junk?
Yeah, if that's what you want to call a Solar Guard heavy cruising.
Huh? Let me see that. Good. Fine, big ship.
Are you crazy? They must be looking for us.
Which makes things even. I've been looking for them.
What?
Listen, Dopey. You didn't think we were going to be able to operate in this tin can much longer.
What's the matter with the Nancy Adams?
What isn't? No, sir, Rice. We need a new ship, a fast ship.
We could buy one with all the money we got.
I want the best. That means a Solar Guard cruiser.
You must be out of your mind. How can we?
I got plans. Now listen to me and do as I...
Attention, Space Raider Nancy Adams. Stand by for inspection. This is rocket cruiser Orion of the Solar Guard. Stand by for inspection.
Inspection? That means they'll come aboard, find the credits.
Let them come. They'll find nothing. Not the credits, not even us.
I don't get it.
Put on a spacesuit. Quick.
Attention, Nancy Adams. We are ordering you to stand by.
For gosh sakes, Morgan.
I'm telling you, don't worry. Get on the spacesuit while I answer.
Okay.
Space Freighter Nancy Adams to Solar Guard cruiser Orion. We hear you. We are standing by for inspection. We may couple airlocks at will. Now let them come aboard. They can have the Nancy Adams. We'll take over the Orion.
I'm going crazy trying to figure out how...
Don't strain that lame brain of yours, Rice. Just follow orders. And by the time we're through, we'll be the first pirates in history to go blasting through space in a Solar Guard cruiser.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, I'd like you to hear a special on-the-scene recording I made the other day when I inspected the space liner Nebula prior to the cosmic space line. I'll start the recording now. Spaceman, I'm proceeding down the galley-way of the Nebula. That muffled noise you hear in the background comes from the radiomagnetic conveyor belt that is taking me toward the main dining room. Here we are in the main dining room of the Nebula. Hold on, what's this? Well, I'll push the button and see. Well, what do you know? It's the button for the breakfast chimes. Oh, and here's the breakfast menu. Say, let's see what they have for breakfast on the Nebula. Well, Spaceman, here it is in big, bright lettering. For breakfast, the Nebula serves Kellogg's Pep. You know, that's no surprise, because Kellogg's Pep is the spaceman's breakfast. We all know how Pep is the build-up wheat cereal that gives you lots of hard-hitting food energy. Pep has essential vitamins that help you grow up with strong bones and healthy muscles. And Pep tastes so delicious. You eat one spoonful of Pep, and you'll agree that there's nothing so swell-tasting as Pep's whole wheat and malt flavor. So, Spaceman, when the breakfast chimes sound in your house, join in with the passengers on the Nebula and all the cadets at Space Academy. Eat the spaceman's breakfast, Kellogg's Pep.
When Morgan and Rice pirate a passenger ship en route from Mars to Venusport, taking more than 500,000 credits, they are spotted by the rocket cruiser Orion, which flashes word back to Solar Guard headquarters. Captain Strong, commanding a squadron of rocket destroyers, blasts off immediately, and with Tom and Roger is now nearing the Orion's last reported position.
Radar bridge control deck, Captain Strong.
Yes, Manning, what is it?
I picked up the Orion, sir, but there's no sign of the Nancy Adams.
Good enough. Relay the radar to our control deck scanner.
Here she comes.
That's the Orion, all right. Well, they ought to know what's become of Morgan and Rice. Let's talk to them. Attention, Orion. Attention. This is Captain Strong calling the Orion. Come in, please. Attention, Orion. Come in. Captain Strong to Orion. Come in.
Well, that's strange. They're not answering. Skipper, look at the scanner. The Orion's blasting away from us.
Captain, get a load of that. She's heading full space speed in the wrong direction.
Yes, Manning, we see. And we're just as puzzled as you are. Whatever you do, keep her on your screen.
I'll try it. Uh-oh. Message coming in just a second, sir.
Of all the space-happy setups, first no sign of the Nancy Adams. Then the Orion acts as though everybody on board is oxygen drunk.
Here's that message, sir. It's from the rocket destroyer TCJ 205 Squadron 9. They picked up the Nancy Adams, and what do you think they found aboard?
Manning, this is no time for guessing games.
All right, sir, but hold on to your space helmet. On that old tub was the crew of the Orion.
What? Well, you must have it wrong.
No, sir. Here's the whole message. To Captain Strong, sighted, boarded freighter Nancy Adams. Found crew of cruiser Orion aboard, with automatic flight and communications equipment smashed. All hands secure. Signed, Lieutenant Walchak.
By the rings of Saturn.
Captain, maybe it's a phony message.
No. Well, that explains why the Orion blasted away from us. Somehow, Morgan and Rice have managed to get control of that cruiser after fixing their own ship so it wouldn't operate.
I've got Walchak back. Any instructions, Captain?
I'll speak directly, Manning. Attention all rocket destroyers, Squadron 9. Our target is Cruiser Orion, Sector 12, Chart M. Prepare for maneuver Z for Zebra. Z for Zebra. Ready all ships for battle.
Better take this baby off the automatic control first. Looks like we got a fight in our hands.
Attention, Orion. Attention, Orion. Stand by for boarding. You have 30 seconds to stand by for boarding or we'll open fire. This is your first and last warning.
You hear that, Morgan? They're gonna blast it. Let them try. My guns have twice the range of theirs, and my brains are 10 times better. Stand by to maneuver, Rice. Stand by to knock a destroyer squadron right out of space.
Captain Strong, the Orion's altering course.
Skipper, the Orion's getting in position to fire. She's countering Army over Zebra with K for Katie.
Get this message to all ships immediately, Manning.
Yes, sir.
To all ships, Squadron 9. Execute maneuver X for X-ray. X for X-ray, immediately.
What's happened, sir?
Corbett, I just realized. Morgan and Rice have access to the Solar Guard code book aboard the Orion. So every time I order a maneuver, they know what we're going to do.
But that means they can counter every move.
Exactly. They're always a step ahead of us, and always will be as long as we work as a squadron.
But, Captain, then why did you order X for X-ray?
X means every ship works on its own ideas. It means a knockdown, drag-out fight where somebody always gets hurt. But we've got to take Morgan and Rice. With a rocket cruiser in their hands, they can terrorize the entire solar system, robbing, looting, and with our code book, they'll be on to every move we make.
Just received acknowledgement of maneuver X from all ships, sir.
Right. Thanks, Manning.
Skipper, the radar drove our ships. They've been hit. Blasted into space junk.
I tell you, this artillery is just what I needed. 2 bolts from the blasters. 2 big splashes of light. What do you think of the Solar Guards now, Rice?
I gotta hand it to you, Morgan. You're a big man.
And this is only the beginning. With the energy lock formula, this rocket cruiser, and the Guards' code book, we're going to tear the solar system apart.
I don't care what happens to the system so long as we get credit.
Right. Now, we start nice and easy. Stick to the small stuff for a while. Space yachts around Venusport. Passenger rockets out of New Chicago. Then, when we've thrown the Solar Guard off balance, we pull the $5 million credit job.
Morgan, if we take that minus payroll, we can retire, live like kings.
Or even better, like the greatest pirates in history. Nice. Get a spray gun full of paint. Huh? I want you to paint our emblem on the Orion's hull.
Our emblem?
Yeah, the pirate signature. A skull and crossbones.
Here's another report on Morgan and Wright, sir. Took another passenger ship between Luna City and Venusport.
Same methods?
Yes, sir. Fired a blaster at the communications antenna, and then Wright from the Orion covered Morgan while he boarded the ship and opened the energy lock.
How much this time?
Nearly 300,000.
And we can't seem to get within 100,000 miles of them. The finest equipment in the Solar Alliance goes into those heavy cruisers.
Any ideas where they might be hiding, sir?
Anywhere. From the gray zone of Mercury to the moons of Jupiter. And we can't check every piece of space junk in the system.
Just got the new code from cryptography section, Captain Strong. I'd like to see Morgan use this. It's based
Never mind what it's based on, Manning. That's supposed to be a secret.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. A new code for the Solar Guard, Captain?
The first step in taking away Morgan's information.
Yeah, especially with that big shipment going to the miners on Titan. A special code for the Titan payroll.
That's right. We can't take chances with 5 million credits. Or do you think we ought to?
Well, sir, saving the payroll won't trap Morgan and Rice. But if we used it as bait...
Bait?
Yes. Suppose we send a message to Titan that we're going to try to fool the pirates. That the payroll's going on board an old beat-up freighter. And send it in the old code.
Morgan will try to intercept the freighter.
We'll make sure he does. In our message, let's say the freighter will be in a certain quadrant at a certain time.
And around that quadrant, we'll have a whole Solar Guard task force ready to converge on that spot. Is that it, Corbett?
Yes, sir. The thing that's been giving us so much trouble is the fact that Morgan has our code. But that's the very thing that can bring him into our trap. Look at him, Roger. Every Solar Guard ship available has been assigned to this mission.
Yeah, I never saw so many destroyers and cruisers. By the rings of Saturn, Morgan and Wright better head for another galaxy.
Here you are, boys.
The Polaris is all set, sir.
We're not taking the Polaris.
We're not taking... Well, why not, sir?
Commander Arkwright has placed me in command of the fleet. If you want to come along on the flagship, fine.
You mean just stand around and watch?
Want a little action, Manning?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Corbett?
I feel the same way, Captain.
Well, the decoy ship, the freighter, will have to be piloted by someone, and...
We volunteer.
I'll say.
Boys, I won't pretend I'm not happy. But you want to know what you're getting into? You'll be decoys, operating under sealed orders, observing complete communication silence.
That'll mean less work, Skipper, which is the way I like it.
You won't be able to call for help, whatever happens.
Believe me, sir, if anyone calls for help after we meet those pirates, it isn't going to be Corbett and Manning.
You said it, Junior. Captain, hand over those sealed orders.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, my name is Cadet Montgomery. Here in my hand I have a pair of official space goggles. They're just like the kind you can get from Space Academy Supply Headquarters. I wouldn't go out into space without my pair for all the uranium in Jupiter. You see, these space goggles once saved my life. It happened a couple of months ago. I was at the controls of a rocket cruiser when I had to change course and head into the glaring sun. For a moment I was blinded. I couldn't see. And then I put on my space goggles. It was a lucky thing I thought of them, because all of a sudden I saw a Martian space freighter blast out of nowhere and swing across my path. We were headed on a collision course. The Martian pilot, blinded by the sun, couldn't see me. I had to act fast. I called for emergency speed and gave the rudder controls all they had. It was going to be close. But we made it. Thanks to my space goggles, I'd seen that Martian just in time. Spaceman, if I hadn't been wearing my goggles, I'd be space dust now.
Thanks for your story, Cadet Montgomery. And now, Spaceman, here's what you do to get your pair of space goggles. Pay close attention because I'm going to give these instructions just once. Ready? Send one box top from Kellogg's Pep, 25 cents, and your name and address. Send to Kellogg's, Box 346. Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Send for your space goggles today, and tomorrow morning, eat a spaceman's breakfast. Eat Kellogg's Pep.
A giant trap has been set for the pirate Morgan and his accomplice. And at the very center, serving as bait, is an old freighter being flown through space by Tom Corbett and Roger Manning. And now, as they wait for the ruthless man to strike...
See anything, Roger? Not a thing, Tom. 4 hours now. Maybe Morgan's wild. I don't see how he could be. Hey, what are you doing? Reading the orders again. Proceed to Space Quadrant 17, Sector 9, Chart R. That's it, nothing else. So now we play sitting duck for Morgan. Why don't those guys come on? Hold on to your space helmet, Roger. I think we've got company. Where? There, on the radar scanner. Is that a ship or a piece of space junk? If that's space junk, it's got rock. Keep your fingers crossed, Roger. It's the Orion, all right. I can see her through the viewport now. Complete with skull and cross. Hey, he's blasting us. Trying to smash the communications antenna as usual. Then his next step would be to...
Space Freighter in Sector 9. You are in my sights. Stand by for boarding. Attempt no resistance when I couple airlocks. Attempt no resistance if you value your life.
I wonder if they'll recognize it.
Very wise of you to take it so calmly, gentlemen. And now... Why, you're Manning and Corbett.
And the game is up, Morgan. You walked into a trap.
What? I don't believe it. You're bluffing.
Morgan, the fleet. When the race is set on the whole solar guard fleet, they're trapping us. We gotta get away fast.
Hold on, you idiot. I'm coming. Just let me blast these two space punks to the west.
I can't wait for you. I'm getting out of here.
Rice, you run out of me and I'll get...
Too late, Morgan. He's gone. Ripped the airlock apart. But he's not going very far. Look at the radar scanner. Here comes the fleet. Must be 100 of them. Where? Rice has opened fire. So is the fleet. He's doubling back this way. They're still firing. We'll get hit. Watch out!
My eyes! I can't see! I'm blind!
Roger. Are you all right? Yeah. The explosion knocked out our lights. He thinks he's blind. I'll watch him just the same. He's got a ray gun. Maybe he's bluffing.
Somebody speak! I can't see!
Where is he? By the control panel. You remember the old game of turkey gobbler? You mean make a noise and then hide? Yeah, you go to the left and I'll circle to the right.
Please say something! I can't see!
Now be careful.
That's pity on you when you're blind! I'll throw away my ray gun! I'll say something!
He's got two, Tom. He's bluffing. Yeah, I know. Come on, let's go. Okay. Hey, you stuck Space 8, here I am. Not there, here, Morgan. Now, over here, Morgan.
I'll get you, you young punks. You can't outfox me.
Well, get me here, Morgan. You're pulling to the left. Try again.
Playing games with me, huh? Well, you can't.
Missed again.
I'll get you. So the guy's gonna trap me, huh? Well, I'm more than a pirate. You can't get me.
Hey, Roger. How many was that? 9 blasts. Must be low on power. Come on. Let's roll. He's out cold. Get some emergency lights on, Roger. I want to take a look at this guy unarmed. There.
Manning! Corbett, where are you?
Up here, Skipper, on the control deck.
Oh, I've been worried. The blast that knocked out the Orion. Some of it's still over on the freighter.
Good thing, too. It knocked our lights out and saved our lives. And then we kept Morgan shooting till his ray gun ran out of power.
Where is that space rat, anyway? Well, I'll be. Sleeping like a baby.
Oh, well, I guess I did hit him pretty hard, sir. You hit him? Of course I did, Junior. Not that you didn't help. I don't want to hog all the credit.
Well, of all... Hold it, boys, hold it. This man learned the most guarded secret in the entire universe. Captured a Solar Guard cruiser and stole more money than any pirate in history. There's plenty of credit for both of you.
Oh, we know, sir. It's not that.
Boys, couldn't we say that you both hit him equally hard?
Why? Well, I guess so. Sure, I'm willing. But I hit him first.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when they fly the largest passenger rocket in the universe to Venus, but find themselves on a round trip to disaster. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett.
Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and Ivor Francis. Today's program was written by Richard Jessup, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and Bran Flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender. The Bran Flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and Bran Flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's.
Escape! You are fighting your way through a frozen wilderness, torn by the icy blast of an Arctic blizzard, and driving you on towards certain death is a man with a gun, from whom you cannot escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight we escape to the Canadian North Woods, to a lonely wilderness where justice finds strange paths, as James Oliver Curwood told it in his famous story, The Match.
Just below the Arctic Circle, where blizzards scream in the winter and tear frozen branches from the pine trees, where the driven sleet cuts human skin like flying glass, there men know and fear the eternal spirit of the icy north, the great cold spirit that weaves the patterns of human destiny, both weaves and destroys. Forever and again, the spirit throws out strange swirls of chance and coincidence that meet eventually in a terrible whirlpool which swallows up the old pattern and creates some new and different one for men to wonder and marvel at. One such swirl in time and space began months ago and far to the south, in a logging camp near the southern border of Canada, where two men faced each other on a narrow trail in the light of a full moon. It began in violence and hatred.
What do you want, Loring?
Thorne, I've been talking to Jeannie. She told me what you did.
Well, what about it?
She told me all of it, the whole thing.
Too bad, Loring. But if you can't keep your wife from casting her eye around, then that's your tough luck.
There were no eyes cast around, and you know it.
All right, then. What are you going to do about it?
I'm not sure yet.
Then I'll tell you. Nothing. You haven't got a leg to stand on. I'm running this camp and every man in it. If you don't like what I do, then get out.
I'm planning to stay.
In that case, you'd better get used to the way I run things. Men and women. And the next time I drop in...
you dirty...
That's it, eh? Well, then...
Drop that knife, Thorne. Drop it!
on, get up on your feet. Get up, Thorne. What's the matter with you? Thorne. Thorne. That rock under his head. He's dead. Jeannie?
Billy, what's wrong?
Jeannie, I ran into Thorne a few minutes ago.
Oh, Billy, your hand. What did you do?
I hit him, Jeannie. He started to pull a knife, so I knocked him down. His head hit a rock and he fell. He's dead.
No. Oh, no.
They probably won't find Thorne till morning, so I've got to get out of here in the next half hour.
Leave?
I'm new here, Jeannie. They don't know me. It's just my word. I wouldn't have a chance.
Where'll we go?
Not you. You're going to take the baby and go back to the cottage in New York State.
Well, where are you planning to go?
North, honey. A long ways north. I'll have a better chance up there in the woods.
They'll catch you, Billy. They always do.
Don't worry. They won't catch me. And somehow, sooner or later, we're going to be back together again. Believe me.
And so in the South, one black swirl of chance is born and moves slowly northward through time and space. Moves even as the great Arctic storms move across the faces of continents. And there ahead of it, among the tumbled ridges of spruce and pine, another swirl of human fate moves at the whim of the bleak spirit of that frozen land. Moves first one way, then another, but centers always near one certain red-coated uniform of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Centers on the hard, lean figure of a man called Sergeant Brokaw.
Nice shot, Sergeant.
Thanks, Trooper.
The captain sent me to...
Wait. There's one more target still up out there.
Dead center. Brother, I wish I could shoot like that.
Work on it. Good shooting's something you'll need if you stay in the Mounties.
I guess it's helped you plenty of times.
Yeah, you. What have you got there? Telegram?
Yeah. It's an order the captain told me to bring out to you. Here.
Let's see. Special assignment for apprehension and return of a fugitive. Name, Billy Loring. Height, 5 feet, 11 inches. Weight, and so on and so on. Last seen near Hobbs Landing on October 3rd and reported heading north. Wanted for murder. Sergeant Brokaw signed. Instruction, bring back fugitive.
They make it sound plenty simple, Sergeant. Bring back fugitive.
That's just the way it ought to sound. When you're assigned to bring a man in, you bring him in. That's all there's to it. There's no excuse and no alibi for not doing it. You can take my word on it, Trooper. I've been doing it for 12 years.
And so far, you've never missed getting your men?
Not so far, not ever. When I go after a man, I'm going to get him, sooner or later. One way or another, I'm going to bring him back. Every time. And that goes for this, what's his name, Loring. You can bet your life on it. And so they grew in time and space, these two great swirls of chance, the one hovering in the north, and the other moving toward us slowly across 1,000 miles and through 227 days. And one night at last, they met in a tiny raw pine cabin hidden in the blizzard-frozen marsh hard up against the Arctic Circle. And the wild whirlpool born from that meeting created strange, new patterns of human life and death and destiny. All right, Loring. Let's have your other wrist. There.
You don't need these handcuffs. You've got me, that's that.
I don't take chances, Loring. You know it already, of course, but you're under arrest in the name of the Crown for murder. You can sit down in that chair by the stove.
Thanks. It's funny, I've lived here all winter, and I've had pretty good luck trapping. I've been selling furs to the Indians. In another month, I'd have had enough to go away and meet my wife. Then you come along.
Tough luck, Loring. We start back to the post in the morning, or at least as soon as this blizzard lets up.
That'll be 3 days. It always is. What's your name?
Brokaw. Sergeant Brokaw.
That's kind of funny somehow, today being the day you found me.
That I did. I hate to be camping out in that blizzard tonight. What's so funny about today?
It's her birthday. I mean, my wife, Jeannie. Here, let me show you.
Hold it, Loring.
Oh, no. It's all right. It's just her photograph. Here, let me unwrap it. See?
Pretty girl.
Yeah, that and everything else, Sergeant. You married?
No.
That's some of her hair. That curl that's into the picture.
Yeah. Red, isn't it?
It's like red gold. We got married on her birthday. So today's our wedding anniversary, too. She wanted it that way. She said the best things in her life always happened on her birthday.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, I guess it was crazy. But I was so happy when I got up this morning about what day it was and only 2 months to go and all. I put 2 places at the breakfast table, and I propped her picture up by one of them. I sat there talking to her while we ate together. I guess you get like that up here alone. I haven't seen a white man for 3 months. I had a little dog for a while, but he died about 6 weeks ago, and there wasn't any chance to get another one. Jeannie always liked dogs. Dogs and kids. You don't mind my talking this way, do you, Sergeant? Kind of helps.
I don't mind. Why should I?
Well, the thing is, we've always been so blamed crazy about each other. We've never been apart until this came up. And then we had to be. And in another month or two, we'd have been back together.
It's your own fault, Loring. It's not my concern. My job is to find you and bring you in. I've done part of that, and I will do the rest of it.
Maybe so. I warn you right now, Sergeant, I'll make it as tough for you as possible. I'm going to get away if I can. You see, I promised her that we'd be together again.
It's up to you, Loring. But if you start to play rough, I can play a whole lot rougher. One way or another, I'm going to bring you in to stand trial. There's nothing can stop me.
Maybe so, Sergeant.
You see, I'm probably the hardest man in the whole Royal Canadian Mounted, Loring. And that's your hard luck, too. Because you might have softened up another man with that stuff you were telling.
You think that's why I talked about it?
I don't know, and I don't care. The only thing that matters is that I've got a job to do. I always have done it, and I'm going to do it this time. You can depend on that.
I guess duty's a big part of your life.
Not a big part of it, Loring. It's all of it. Now, if you don't mind, I've come 15 miles through the snow today. Last drive against the blizzard. I'm tired. Let's turn in.
All right, sure.
You can take the bunk. Leave your clothes on.
Is it all right if I get that photograph off the table?
Go ahead. All right. Put your feet together.
Huh? What's the chain for?
Another reason to call me hard. I'm going to padlock it around your ankles.
You are cautious.
That's right, Loring. There. Call out if you want anything in the night. If you try to get up without calling, I'll kill you. I'll sleep here in the chair. And this gun happens to be cocked.
Thanks for warning me. Good night, Sergeant.
Good night.
By the way, Sergeant Brokaw.
Yeah?
It's too bad you never got married.
Why?
Because when you go to sleep, you've nobody to dream about.
Billy, darling. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jeannie. Yes, darling.
Never mind the blizzard. It doesn't matter. We've been in storms before.
Yes, I remember.
And today's my birthday. And also the day we were married. Nothing can really hurt us. Everything's going to be all right.
Yes, Jeannie. Yes, everything is going to be all right.
Billy.
Yes, Jeannie?
Remember one time in the fall, we built a bonfire and roasted ears of corn. That was in the field back of the cottage.
Yes, 2 years ago. That was on your birthday, too.
Yes. And do you remember how the smoke would always get in your eyes? And how it would follow you around and make you cough and sneeze?
Sure, I remember.
Remember? The smoke, Billy. The smoke.
Sure, I remember.
Billy. The smoke. The smoke.
What? Smoke. The cabin's on fire. Sergeant. Sergeant Brokaw. Wake up, the cabin's on fire.
Good Lord.
Will you get this chain off my feet? I can't walk.
No time. The whole roof's on fire. Here. I'll carry you. Oh, can't see the door. Oh, here it is. Well, looks like we made it.
Thanks, Sergeant.
I gotta get back in there. All our stuff's in there.
You can't make it. There goes the roof.
I guess you know the spot we're in, Loring.
Yes, I know. Our heavy coats, mittens, snowshoes, and all of our food is burning up inside.
And it's 40 below, and the blizzard's just starting. Here, you can't lie there in the snow. Get that chain off your ankles. There you are.
Thanks, Sergeant. What about the handcuffs?
Hey, stay on, Loring.
Are you crazy? What difference does it make? We haven't a chance. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah, I know.
We couldn't be any worse off. We don't even have a match. I saw you fill your case and put it in your coat. It's inside there. We don't even have a match.
I know that, Loring. I know everything else you're going to tell me. You don't have enough clothes to keep us from freezing to death. If we stay here and keep the fire going, we'll starve. It's 60 miles to the nearest post and 20 miles to Thoreau's, the next cabin down the trail. We might make 10 miles if we're lucky. More likely 5.
That's right. So why the handcuffs?
You've been living up here for 3 months, Loring. I've got an idea. You probably know some cabin a lot closer than Thoreau's. Some Indian or a trapper. Maybe not more than 2 or 3 miles away. You want to start breaking trail?
Well, suppose I did. What of it? Something good has always happened to me on Jeannie's birthday, and I think it has this time, Sergeant. It's a lot easier to freeze to death than to go back and die the way I'd be doing it. So
it's like that.
It's like that. Unless you want to make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
Take off these cuffs, give me that revolver, and I'll get you out of this. It's a cabin, all right.
Sorry, Loring. No deal.
You're a fool, Brokaw. I got nothing to lose, but you're just tossing your life away. How about it?
We'll take turns breaking trail. You can lead off first. We may as well start.
Where?
Thoreau's, of course.
20 miles. Why don't we sit down and freeze to death here instead of 5 miles from here?
Because I'll be 5 miles closer to bringing you in. Come on.
You're a fool, Sergeant. You're beaten, and you know it. Why don't you give in?
Come on, Loring. Let's get going. Loring, how far do you think we've come by now?
I don't know. Let's rest for a minute.
Yeah, pretty winded myself. 5 miles, you think?
I'd say about 4. 16 more to Thoreau's. Think we'll make it, Sergeant?
We'll try it.
We only had some way of building fires. We could stop and get warm once in a while.
Not even an Indian could build a fire in this blizzard without matches.
Yeah. The wind is slacking off a bit.
Which means it'll get colder. No, we better move on.
Sergeant, how about taking off these cuffs? They're freezing to my skin. Look, I'm bleeding on both wrists.
Then why don't you take us to that cabin you know about?
Want to make that deal?
No deal.
No deal, no cabin.
Then I'm sorry for you, Loring. But the cuffs stay on.
Why? What difference can it make? We'll both be dead in 2 hours anyway.
If we are, you'll still be wearing those cuffs. And this gun will still be in my holster. Dead or alive, you'll still be my prisoner.
The hardest man in the mountains.
Are you ready, Loring?
Sure, why not?
I lit out for a while. Come on, let's go. Of all those who dwell in this frozen land, the bleak, cruel spirit of the North is known best to men on the open trail. There, facing the breath of the blizzard, eyes blinded by the driving sleet, a man feels his soul grow small within him. And when that happens, his mind may turn to strange fantasies and to memories of a faraway voice.
Billy? Can you hear me, Billy?
Yes, Jeannie.
Everything's going to be all right, Billy. I love you. And everything's going to be all right.
Sure.
The snow doesn't matter. And the blizzard doesn't matter. They'll be gone soon. And there'll be only us.
Yeah. I can see you now standing there at the gate. In front of the cottage.
That's right, darling. Don't look at the snow and the icy trees and the storm. Look at me instead. See?
Yeah. It's spring. The sunshine.
And I'm wearing my hair the way you've always liked it. It's in curls all summer. See, Billy?
Yeah. Oh, Jeannie. But, Brokaw, what's the matter?
Held, tired. Restful, huh?
You can't lie there like that. You'll be asleep in 5 minutes. That'll be the end.
4 hours. How much farther?
Around 14 miles. Come about 6 altogether.
Your hands in pretty bad shape.
I don't know, Sergeant. I can't feel anything now.
Might as well take those cuffs off. Stick out your hands.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Yeah. Here's my gun.
How come?
I'm through. Beat. I'm giving in, Laurie. Take us to that cabin. What's wrong with you?
You're too late, Sergeant.
What do you mean?
The cabin's about 2 miles from where mine was. We're over 4 miles from it now. Neither one of us can last another half mile.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Well, looks like you win, Laurie.
You might call it that. Tough on you, though. I was going to die anyway.
Well, may as well keep moving.
Why? This is as good a place as any.
Not going to stop trying as long as I can move. You can do what you like, Laurie. I'm going on.
Wait a minute, Sergeant. If we had a fire and we could get warm for a while, then we could make that cabin without much danger.
Yeah, we haven't.
Suppose I say the word that'll save both of us, get us out of this. Will you go back to headquarters and tell them I'm dead?
No, I can't do that. In 12 years of the service, I haven't run up a white flag once. I'm not going to do it now. Dying or no dying.
Duty, huh?
Call it whatever you want. We'll make you a square offer, though. Pull us out of this, and I'll give you 24 hours head start. As soon as we're both on our feet again.
You're all right, Brokaw. Funny, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I couldn't let you go on down the trail there. You'd stumble into a drift and be dead before you made half a mile, and I'd have been safe then. Funny, I don't know why I'd do it. Maybe it's on account of her.
What's your plan, Laurie? What have you got in mind?
I'll take the offer of 24 hours, Brokaw. I've got a match.
Match?
Yeah, just one. I remember dropping it in my pants pocket yesterday. It's on this side. Maybe you can get to it. Your hands are in better shape than mine.
All right. I can't seem to... Yeah. Here it is. It's dry, too.
Don't drop it. It's the only one.
Yeah. Gotta have some branches. Dry back. Here. You hold it while I get some off that birch tree.
All right.
Match. Don't drop it, Lauren. Pull it careful.
Yeah, I got it.
Bark's dry underneath. Ought to be all right. Start.
That should burn all right.
We ought to have some dry paper, just to make sure.
I've got some. Hold the match.
Oh, paper wrapped on that photograph.
Here you are. Funny, I was thinking about her when I remembered the match. I guess she's the one that's really going to light this fire.
There it is. You want to strike it? You want me to?
You go ahead. My hands are still pretty stiff.
All right. You want to have something dry to scratch it on?
There's a gun file in my same pocket. Reach in and get it.
All right. Yeah, here it is.
All right.
Well.
It's up to her now. All right, Jeannie, strike the match.
Oh.
Brokaw.
Oh.
Brokaw, what's the matter?
The match. Loring, it went out.
No.
Our only chance and it went out.
No, that's...
I gotta get moving. I gotta get this door open.
Brokaw, you can't make it.
I gotta go. As long as I'm alive. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going.
Brokaw, you don't have a chance. Brokaw! It's gone. Well, what's the difference? Here or half a mile farther? It's not so bad. It's kind of peaceful. Dreamy. So peaceful, it's just like going to sleep.
Don't go to sleep, Billy. Wake up.
Everything's going to be all right.
Wake up. Darling, you can't go to sleep. You've got to wake up.
Everything's all right.
The smoke, Billy. Don't you remember the smoke?
Huh?
We're going to be together again. Open your eyes.
Huh?
Together again. Open your eyes.
Huh? What? Smoke. The fire. It's burning. Spark from that match must have caught. Jeannie! The fire is burning. The fire!
And so one man finds eternal sleep on the frozen breast of the snow, and one man dreams beside a fire, whose tongues of flame are like the red curls of a woman's hair. When the blizzard has stripped the little things away, and the soul of a man stands facing the blast, clean and bare and alone, then what is right and what is wrong? Does justice depend on the striking of a match? Is human destiny only a thing of accident and of chance? Ask the icy voice of the Arctic storm. Ask the cold, bleak spirit of the great North Woods.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. And tonight brought you The Match by James Oliver Curwood. Adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield. With Frank Lovejoy as Billy, Wilms Herbert as Sergeant Brokaw, Cynthia Corley as Jeannie, Nestor Paiva as Thorne, and Clark Cuney as the trooper. With Stan Waxman as the narrator. The musical score was conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week.
You are trapped on a remote plantation in the crawling Amazon jungle. And an immense river of ravenous ants is closing in on you, swarming in to eat you alive. A deadly black army from which there is no escape.
Next week, we bring back the escape story you have most requested in your letters. Carl Stevenson's gripping tale, Leiningen versus the Ants. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rice checks and wheat checks, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have just made an amazing discovery in an unexplored region of the planet Earth, and are now descending the mountain with their spaceship carrying a metal chest.
I'd like to open this chest right now. Maybe it'd explain the whole mystery.
From the looks of it, we'll probably have to use an atomic torch. I just think if it hadn't been for that earthquake, the secret would have never been discovered. Not just that. It'll be tricky getting around this overhang.
If we drop this box, it'll go shooting down the mountain like...
Hey, Commander, what's that? I don't know.
Some of these tropical birds make some weird noises.
Pat, look above us. The rock's getting waved.
Oh, the rocket's another quake. We've got to get away from here fast. The whole top of the mountain's coming down on us.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Strange Voyager. Space Patrollers, this is the very last time we can offer you our sensational cosmic rocket launcher. Right, Hat?
Right. So if you haven't sent for yours yet, you better do it right now. Dan, you can float it or fly it. Smoking rockets, you sure can have a lot of fun with the Space Patrol Cosmic Rocket Launcher.
Here's what you get. A swell red and yellow plastic rocket and a neat snap-on scout car.
A stainless steel launching gun and a break-proof guide cord 33 feet long.
To fly it, you just press the trigger on the launching gun, and down the guide cord that rocket flies lightning fast. It hits its target and automatically releases a snap-on scout car.
To float it, you remove the rocket from the steel launching gun, detach the scout car, fill up a tub or basin with water, and send the rocket scooting over the surface.
And Space Patrollers, don't forget, there's a special place inside the scout car for secret messages. Now, you can set up a window-to-window communication system with a pal next door.
Jumping Jupiter, owning a cosmic rocket launcher means fun for you. Now, don't miss out. Remember, this is the last time we can tell you how to get one. Go ahead, Captain Two-Fells. Tell them how.
Just send a rice checks or wheat checks box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Strange Voyager. The city of Amazonia is known throughout the solar system as the largest spaceport on the South American continent. From the reclaimed forests, jungles, and plains of the vast Amazon Valley, food supplies pour into Amazonia for shipment all over the Earth and to other planets as well. A recent earthquake, centering a few hundred miles from the city, has caused damage to some outlying settlements and commercial installations. Commander Corey and Happy are in Amazonia, ostensibly to supervise relief operations, but chiefly to investigate a mysterious signal that has baffled communications experts. While Happy monitors the spacephone receiver, Buzz heads the Terrified toward the point where the last mysterious signal was heard. Below them, the lush forests have given way to dry, scraggly brush, clinging to the slopes of mountains.
We're close to the source now, Hap. It's somewhere in that range right ahead of us. The signal ought to be popping on pretty soon.
Yeah, 14:35, just 25 and a half hours since the last signal.
I've got the direct indicator all set. The instant the signal sounds, we'll pinpoint the transmitter. We've just a few seconds to go. It ought to be coming through now.
Are you sure you've got the exact frequency here?
Yes, sir. I've got the scanner on just in case.
For the last few days, that signal has given a 25 and a half hour interval with a split second.
Well, if somebody's stranded out here, maybe they'll see our ship and contact us.
It could be anywhere within a 50 square mile area. Look at that peak over there to the left. See that raw star on the side?
Yes, sir. earthquake must have caused a landslide there. Yeah, it really shook things up out here. There's a spaceship down there. Maybe that's where the signal's been coming from. The ship must be stranded. That's bad. Whoever's down there must have been unable to send a regular distress call. The signal was probably from an automatic transmitter. Now it's cut out. We'll land and investigate.
A moment later, Buzz lands the Terra 5 close to the other spaceship. He and Happy climb down the ladder and make their way toward the private cruiser.
It sure looks deserted, Commander. Well, this is an awful thought, but whoever was in that ship might have been trapped by the landslide.
I don't think so. If the ship had been here when the slide occurred, it would have been partly buried. This cruiser landed later.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll go aboard and look around. Pat, there's someone up in the mountainside.
Yeah, and he's coming toward us.
Ahoy there!
Commander, do you see who that is?
Yes, it's our talkative friend, Herbert Harrison, the fellow who works for Universal Biological.
Yeah, the guy who got on my ear back at the communications center. Of all the people to run into clear out here.
He's pretty excited. Look at him bound down that mountain.
He'll break his fool neck if he isn't careful.
Commander, I couldn't be happier to see anyone. This is amazing. How did you happen to come here?
We were on a routine search and saw your ship.
Porn and I were looking for biologicals. Porn is my pilot. We were landed here to get some soil samples, and we came across this thing up there.
Now, calm down, Harrison. What thing?
Oh, wait till you see it. It's in sort of a cave. Porn's out there now.
What's up there?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it till you see it. Come on.
Oh, well, can't you tell us what it is, Mr. Harrison?
All I'm going to say is prepare yourself for the captain. Well, here we are, Porn.
Gives me the fidgets.
Oh, Commander Corey, this is Matt Horn. Matt, this is Cadet.
How do you do? Now, what's this mystery?
Right there, just inside the cave.
Smoking rockets. There's a man in there.
Yes, and that's not all. He is alive.
Alive? In that closed cave?
Suspended animation.
Yeah, but how did he get in there? How long has he been there?
Wait a minute, Happy. Harrison, how do you know he's alive?
Just read what it says on the side of the cave. See, it says in several languages. English, Spanish, German, Latin, French, and a lot of other ancient languages I can't read.
Warning. This man is living under suspended animation. He can be revived. Instructions are in the steel cylinder fastened to the case. That's this thing here.
But how long has he been in suspended animation? Look at his clothes. I've never seen anything like them.
His clothes look like the type worn in Europe and the Americas in the middle part of the 20th century.
The 20th century? Why, that's 1,000 years ago. You mean he... Well, but, Commander, they didn't have suspended animation that long ago.
Looks like they did, Cadet. I had a chance to read this whole practice. Somebody named Dr. Jarnigan put this fellow in here in the year 1954.
Why, then, that would make your guess correct, Commander. About the clothes, I mean.
Oh, if we can revive him. Think what he could tell us about ancient history, about propeller-driven airplanes.
Harrison,
and
how did you happen to find this cave?
Well, lucky accident. Horn and I saw this mountain from our ship. The quake damage and all. Just on the spur of the moment, I suggested we land and take some soil samples. For biologicals, you know. We're always looking for new cures for old diseases.
We have this general area on our schedule, so we figured this was as good a place as any.
Then Thorne saw the cave.
I see. Harrison, did you or Thorne see any electronics equipment or hear any signals?
No, Cadet.
After we stepped down the mountain by the landslide and operated for a few days before it cut out.
Sure. We'll probably find it buried at the base of the mountain.
We'll worry about that later. The important thing right now is to get this man to a well-equipped medical center and revive him. If he can be revived.
Thorne and I will do anything to help, Commander.
Sure. Now, good. We'll take the four of us and move that case down the mountain to our ship. Harrison, you and Thorne take that end of the case. Happy and I'll take the front end. Carefully, the four men carry their strange burden down the side of the mountain toward the spaceship. At last, the precarious journey is finished. And Buzz orders them to set the case down beside the Terra 5.
Set him down easy, man.
Catching a breath and put him aboard the ship.
Well, Commander, I suppose you'll be taking this fellow to Amazonia, to the hospital there.
Well, that's the nearest place, but the Terra Medical Center is much better equipped.
Huh? Oh, that box in the cave.
What's that?
A large chest of some kind. effect toward the rear of the cave. Didn't you see it?
Come to think of it, I remember something back there.
And even if it's not needed to revive this man, it might contain valuable information.
Now, let's get this man on the ship. Then we'll go back after that cave. All right, all together now.
Thorne, watch out, huh? Oh, my hand. What's the matter? Lizard had bit me on the hand.
I tried to warn him, sir. The lizard was right there by the corner of the cave. That's a poisonous variety, Thorne. We'll have to have that hand attended to right away. Have to go aboard the ship and get the first aid kit.
No, I'll be all right.
That bite could give you a lot of trouble. It'll only take a minute to run a blood test, and we'll know how to treat it.
No, never mind. I'll be okay.
Commander, I'll take care of it. After all, my firm manufactures miracle drugs. I'll see that Thorne's hand is taken care of. I have complete facilities aboard my ship.
Sure, Mr. Harrison picked me up.
Of course. In my work, I have to be prepared for poisonous insects, plants, reptiles, everything. Thorne has had worse accidents than this.
That's right, Commander.
I'll be okay.
All right, Harrison. You fix Thorne's hand. Captain, I'll go after the chest. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Nice work. As soon as they get out of sight, we'll load the case in our ship and blast off.
Wait. We've got to make sure no one will ever look for us or for our sleeping friends.
And then get rid of Corey and the cadet. Here, tell her back, use the disintegrator.
Don't be a fool, Thorne. I'll wait till they're on their way with the chest. Then I'll use the disintegrator to start a landslide.
And then it'll look like an accident.
Exactly. Now get in our ship and treat that hand of yours. I'll dispose of Corey, and no one will ever know about the secret in the cave.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Hey, gang, I'm sure glad you tuned in today because this is positively, absolutely the last time I can tell you about the terrific Space Patrol Cosmic Rocket Launcher. And you're just in time, too, for the big Cosmic Rocket Race. Now, targets are all set up, and 3 of my Space Patrol pals are lined up behind the triggers of their new Cosmic Rocket Launcher. All 3 of them have been training mighty hard the last couple of weeks, and now they're going to see who's the quickest on the trigger of the stainless steel launching gun. All ready? On target. Blast off! Wow, Space Patrollers, you should have seen it. 3 rockets traveling down 3 guide cords hit the target and wham, automatically released the scout cars. And was it a close race? Say, here comes the winner. Let's ask him out. He got so fast on that launcher trigger.
Practice cabinets and built over and over. You know, the rocket and snap-on scout car are breakthrough plastic. You can shoot the rocket as often as you like. And the nylon launching cord, that's breakthrough, too. As for real trigger action, there's plenty of it. Packed right into that steel launching gun.
Yes, you bet there is. In Space Patrollers, you're in for plenty of action, too, when you get a cosmic rocket launcher of your very own. But you better hurry, because this is the very last time I can tell you how to get one. Yep, the last time on Space Patrol for the cosmic rocket launcher. So right away, today, send a life check or fleet check, box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri, and hurry! And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Strange Voyager. An earthquake in the interior of the South American continent on the planet Earth has uncovered a secret cave. In the cave, Buzz and Happy have found a transparent plastic case containing a man who, according to an inscription, has been in suspended animation for 10 centuries. With the help of Herbert Harrison and Matt Thorne, who claim to be employees of a firm specializing in biologicals, Buzz and Happy carry the case down the mountain to their spaceship. Then the 2 space patrollers return to the cave to retrieve a metal chest. Right now, Buzz and Happy are working their way down the mountain with a heavy box, unaware that Harrison plans to cause a landslide with a disintegrator.
Watch your step. It's going to be tricky getting around this overhang.
Yeah, if we drop this box, it'll go bouncing down the mountain like... Commander, what's that?
I don't know.
Some of these tropical birds make some weird noises, but...
Cap, look up above us. The rock's giving way.
It's another quake. The whole top of the mountain's coming down, and that press back against this overhang. What if the rock doesn't hold? It's our only chance. Hold tight.
Okay, huh? A miracle, yes. This overhang must be rooted in bedrock. Landslide passed completely over, down into the valley. wasn't for the shelf of rock, we'd be buried under tons of earth. Commander, the box. It's gone.
Yes, sir. Down there in the landslide. When we get down the mountain to the ship, we'll call the Space Patrol unit from Amazonia to look for it. Come on, let's get off the mountain before there's another landslide. Meantime, at the base of the mountain, Herbert Harrison clutches his disintegrator and peers intently at the swirling clouds of dust following the landslide. As the dust settles, Matt Thorne, Harrison's pilot, steps out of the private cruiser and walks toward the plastic case containing a man who's been sleeping for 1,000 years.
Thorne, where are you going?
Chase into a ship.
That can wait. Look. Corey and the cadet. Yes, they survived the landslide.
Quick, finish him off with the disintegrator.
No, not now, you idiot. Do you want to spoil more than 1,000 years of planning? But here they come. Let them. It's our job to keep this mystery localized. Localized in this solar system until we can get away, understand?
Yes, sure, I understand.
Then take this disintegrator. Get it out of sight. I'll handle Corey from now on. Plan 3 is in operation.
All right. I've lost my head for a minute.
Oh, Commander Corey, Cadet, you made it. Thorne and I have given you out for long.
The landslide passed over. Well, how's Thorne's hand?
He's tweeting it now, Commander. Nothing to worry about. He'll be all right.
I appreciate your help, Harrison. Happy now I'll be able to handle things ourselves from here on.
But the man in the case, can you manage?
Yes, sir. We'll get him aboard Terra 5 and blast off. Let's go. Many hours later, in an operating room at the Terra Medical Center, Buzz, Happy, and Dr. Nathan Andross stand around the plastic case containing the figure of a man. Nearby is an open cylinder. The transparent plastic cover of the case has been removed. Buzz, Happy, and the doctor gaze intently at the placid features of a man who may have been sleeping for 1,000 years.
I followed the instructions in the cylinder, Commander. We should obtain results shortly, if we obtain them at all.
And you didn't leave anything in the chest that got lost?
No, fortunately.
Dr. Andrew, the man's smiling. He is alive.
Yes, Cadet. The reviving procedure is amazingly similar to our present-day methods of terminating suspended animation. And according to Dr. Jonathan's message, his name is David Stern.
But who was this Dr. Jarnigan? And how did Dr. Jarnigan ever get him to agree to such a crazy idea like this?
That's something we won't know until the man wakes up. Dr. Andross, when will that be?
The body temperature is nearly normal. The heart beat is increasing. The breathing is becoming deeper.
And there's nothing abnormal about it, huh?
Well, no. Except for one thing. We have not been able to classify his blood.
And he has an entirely different type of blood?
So it seems. Of course, the obvious explanation is that his blood was radically changed by the process that put him to sleep for a time of year.
Oh, sure. Hey, he's coming to. His eyes are open.
Could be a terrific shock. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you. No, I'm not Dr. Jonathan.
You're in a hospital. We're carrying out Dr. Jonathan's instructions. Everything's all right.
Sure. I know. What's the date?
When did you fall asleep?
I went to sleep in 1954. What year is it now?
We'll have a nice chat.
Okay. Break it to me easy. What century?
30.
Yeah. I do feel sort of drowsy. I guess if you're sleeping 1,000 years, it gets to your body.
Nothing else. He's asleep again.
Amazing. Look at his collar as if he'd only awakened from one night's sleep. Maybe I'll be asking later. When he wakes up again, Dr. Andross, call me. I'll be in the superintendent's office. In the secluded office in the administration section of the Terra Medical Center, Happy excitedly jots down questions to ask David Stern, the man who actually lived on Earth in the 20th century. Commander Corey, however, seems gravely troubled.
Something worrying you, Commander?
Something about this Stern case that doesn't ring true. There's Dr. Jarnigan, for example. He made a discovery nearly 1,000 years ahead of his time. Yet none of our research experts can find any mention of a Dr. Jarnigan in old 20th century medical records.
He kept all of his work a secret.
Possibly. Another thing. What happened to that spacer phone signal? How did it happen that Harrison and Thorne were there before?
Well, they were looking for biologicals.
So they came.
But I've checked on those two men. Universal Biologicals has no one named Herbert Harrison or Matt Thorne working for them.
What? Then what's Harrison's game, anyway?
I don't know. Yeah. But Harrison and Thorne aren't in South America hunting biologicals. They're right here in Florida.
And you think they were in Amazonia for the same reason we were, to find the source of that signal?
I think they found the transmitter in the spurt.
What?
Yes, Dr. Enloff, what is it?
This naval sperm has disappeared.
Disappeared?
I thought you locked that room, Doctor.
I did lock it, but the lock has been destroyed. There's a big hole in the door where the lock was. I will order the entire hospital searched from top to bottom.
All right, Doctor, do that, but I don't think you'll find Stern
But
here.
where could he be?
I know two men who might be able to answer that question. Come on, Hap.
Watch in the paramedical center. In a small apartment, two men carefully go over every inch of the walls and furniture with a small instrument that projects an almost invisible cone of violet light. A third man sits and stares at them. A placid smile on his face.
Well, that's about does it. We've covered everything with the eradicator beam.
All right. Now, Stern, don't touch anything. Stern, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Let's get to the spaceport.
Oh, sure.
What's the matter with you? Don't you realize you're going home, back to Vega, after 1,000 years in the solar system?
That's probably what he's been dreaming about. Hey, Stern?
No, I was dreaming, but not about home. For 1,000 years I've dreamed. What wonderful dreams. There's nothing anywhere in any galaxy as beautiful as those dreams.
We've got a job to do. When we get to Mars, we'll get aboard our star drive ship and head for Vega with all the information Thorne and I have gathered.
The United Planets won't know they're in danger until our task force hits them. Look at that.
Get Stern into the next room. Go on, Stern. No one must see you here.
All right. I'll tell you about my dream later.
Now, whoever it is, I'll do the talking. Yes? Well, it's Commander Corey, this physicist guy.
I figured it would be. You finished your search for biologicals very quickly, didn't you?
I was called back by my friend.
I'd like to talk to you. Mind if I come in?
Come right in, both of you.
Thanks. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir. Sit down, gentlemen.
Yeah, make yourselves at home. How's your hand, Thorne? Oh, just fine. And I see it? I'd like to take a look at it. Completely healed. Remarkable.
I told you we were well equipped to handle field emergencies.
I see. Well, Harrison, I thought you might like to know about the suspended animation case.
Oh, the man in the cave. I was going to ask about him. How is he?
He disappeared from the hospital. That's why I came here. I thought you might help us find him.
Why, I'd like to help if I can, but searching for missing persons is a little out of my line.
But what is your line, Harrison?
I told you. Biological. I'm field survey agent for University.
They never heard of you or of Thorne.
There must be some mistake. I've been with them for years.
What's in the next room?
It's just a bedroom, Commander.
And if I have a look? Come on, Happy. Stay right where you are, both of you, and get your hands up.
Better do as Thorne said. Your solar system blood guns are crude, but quite effective.
And David Stern is here.
Yes, but he won't be for long. Thorne and I are taking him home after we dispose of you.
And just where is home? Some other solar system, I suppose.
You are right, Commander. Stern, Thorne, and I are from the constellation you call Lyra. To be exact, from the planetary system of the star Vega.
Like a rocket. From another star system.
Yes, Cadet. If you hadn't escaped the landslide, Thorne and I could have taken Stern away, and no one would have ever known that spies from another solar system had been among you.
Well, then Stern hasn't been in suspended animation for 1,000 years.
Oh, yes, he has. But there never was a Dr. Jarnigan. Stern arrived on your planet Earth before your era of space travel. He lived among you, learned your ways, your weapons.
So your people could attack us, is that it?
Yes. In 1954, he was ready to return to Vega. But this star drive wouldn't function, so he destroyed the ship and concealed himself in that mountain under suspended animation.
And why all this hocus-pocus about Dr. Jarnigan and hiding the instructions in the cylinder?
In case Stern was ever found, we wanted no one to suspect he came from another solar system.
What about the spacephone signal? Is that what brought you here from Vega?
No. Thorne and I have been here for about 2 years. The earthquake in South America opened Stern's hiding place.
Harris and I were on Mars at the time. We picked it up and came here to get Stern. Then you destroyed the transmitter.
No, it was destroyed automatically when we were within a few yards of it. That was part of the original plan. There must be nothing to suggest that David Stern was not of the solar system. The transmitter, because of its unique design and strange materials, would have given away our secret.
And Happy and I are the only people in this system that know about the coming attack from Vega.
That is correct. In a moment, both of you will disappear, be disintegrated. Then when Stern and Thorne and I arrive at Vega with our data, our task force will blast off to counter you.
When do they expect you?
They don't. Thorne and I are one of 100 scouting units, scattered all over this galaxy. We are regarded as lost until we return.
Let's finish them off and get going.
All right, Thorne. I'll get the disintegrator.
In the room with Stern.
Keep them covered, Thorne. I'll be right back.
Pat, get Harrison. I'll handle Thorne.
Yes, sir. Drop that blaster, Thorne. Stern, get the disintegrator. Stern, do you hear me?
I'm here, Harrison.
Let them have it.
I'll take care of everything, Harrison.
Break loose, Thorne. Break loose so Stern can use the disintegrator. Let's go. Hurry, Stern. Let them have it.
Sure. Everybody, stay right where you are.
Man, he got Thorne and Harrison.
And this isn't a disintegrator. As you see, my friends are lying on the floor, asleep. Please don't try to attack me, or I'll be forced to use this on you.
Hold it, Stern. Stern, what's that weapon you've got there?
Weapon? It's not a weapon. It's a blessing. If you only knew its effect, you'd beg me to use it on you.
It knocked out your pals, Harrison and Thorne.
They're asleep. Asleep the way you found me in the cave.
Why'd you turn it on them instead of us?
Because they're my friends. I want them to know the bliss of wonderful dreams. Everlasting dreams of beauty and peace. The dreams I enjoyed for 1,000 years.
And you don't want them to go back to Vega?
No. My people would only return here and bring war and pain and sorrow. The solar system is safe from invasion.
Pat, take that suit in with his hand and be careful. Yes, sir.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure brought to you by Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars. Last call! Last call! Space Patrollers, this is absolutely the final time we'll ever be able to offer you the great cosmic rocket launcher. You've got to act fast. Now remember, included in this terrific offer are the break-proof plastic rocket, the stainless steel firing gun, the 33 feet of tough nylon cord, and the plastic scout car, which is launched automatically in midair. Yes, you get all of them, and here's what you do. Ask Mom to get the big brown and yellow can of Nestle's Quick, the product that makes the richest, most delicious chocolate milk in the universe. Then you send the special premium panel from the label, or the lid from the can of Quick, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And do it right away, because this is the last call. Last call. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are locked in an airtight chamber on Neptune's third moon by a criminal trying to force them to reveal Space Patrol's secrets.
Rorschach must be crazy. Just locking us up in here isn't going to make us talk. Listen. Hear that?
Yes, sir. Sounds like some sort of a pump.
You notice anything about the air in here?
Well, now that you mention it, it's sort of hard to breathe.
They're pumping the air out of the chamber.
We've only got two choices. Press the alarm button or suffocate.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Red Demon of Venus. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moses, starring Ed Cameron as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Dever. Other players were Bela Kovach, Norman Jolly, and Jen Arban. Dick Dufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.